What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session, and today we're going to be looking at a $50 game that I played 2 days ago. WSOP online, $50, 50 stack on GG. I took third place for 6K. So let's get started. So, and number one, I'm going to defend my big blind with 9-5. Not much is going to happen. And number two, pocket kings. Okay, check here. Gonna go for a big bet here. Oh,
No.
it's so small. 2-10-9. You guys think I should bet big here? Or
Yes.
Nope. Nope.
think it's a bet small?
Yep.
I think betting big is viable
super wide
sometimes.
range.
I'd want to go bigger with queens more than kings.
So what is this? Low jack. So low jack raise, big blind call. Have a 10-9 deuce rainbow checks. What kind of sizing do we get here? Yeah, it's very big. So betting small is a small portion of the strategy here, only 30%. It's betting big a lot. Okay, so yeah, this is a big bet for sure. Is the sizing?
I
But
bet big less than it didn't. What do you mean?
no, it bets big the most.
I thought
Uh,
it said 24%,
Um,
21%.
it bets small 27%. This is the
Oh,
whole,
you're counting the 6.1. Okay, never mind.
and then it mostly bets
Yeah,
big.
yeah. I read it wrong. Sorry. You go quick on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so turn, I size up, I think that's good, but maybe I should even size bigger. River king
Ooh, nice.
and opponent leads.
Only queen jack.
What do you guys do here?
Defends all 16 combos.
Click it back.
Hmm,
Yeah, I think so.
I like either shoving or trying to play for like some 50 big blind. Let's see what I do. Yeah, I like that a lot because sometimes he has like deuces or like king 10 or like 10-9 maybe. Or like a hand that he levels himself into thinking he has to call. Oh, there he is. Oh,
Wow.
God, that's a huge
Wow.
punt. That's a huge punt.
yeah. So that's why I like to kind of jam here because.
What does he have? I can't see it.
you
Oh,
can't
here it is. King Jack. Okay.
God, and he donks there? That's so bad.
Yeah. So he made a mistake and he made a like a leading mistake on the river and then calling, with one pair.
Yeah.
It's a pretty rough call, but he likes call, so yeah.
Yeah, it's not
What
the
would the,
craziest donk in the world because, like, he's like, okay, I get paid by his ace 10. Sure. But,
Louis.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what the solver would do there on the river, whether it goes all in there or whether it just calls or pick backs.
You mean on my end here?
I mean, we've got the second nuts basically, right? So I'm wondering what the solver does here because you've gone all in. I'm wondering what the solver chooses to do the most, whether it clicks back, calls, or shoves.
Well, thing is, with the line I took, Barry, the solver is not gonna be reliable because we only start from like 20% small bet on the flop. Our combo.
Yeah, but can we
small.
size up and see what it does still?
Well,
Or
we can look, I mean, there's no harm in looking for. So bet small call, 4 of hearts, then I side he checks. Let me make this a bit smaller. After
Interesting, his queen 10 suited hand was flagged.
flag. Oh my goodness.
Just in the quick analysis, so I mean, I didn't run it separately yet.
It feels so bad you say that, Ken, because this hand still hurts. And I was like, the guy had like 5 million in winnings too. It was like not a good opponent and not a good hand.
Queen 10 off.
We're gonna see it later. So big line has some leads on this turn, it seems. Oh no, is that us? Yeah, I guess it's us. So pocket
Well,
kings,
that. Yeah,
pocket kings is always over betting. Here the pot on the sim is 10 big blinds and the smallest size that we should go for here is an over bet.
a
So
turn.
size up on the flop, size up even bigger on the turn. So like here it's
Yeah.
12. So say I
Okay.
overbet because that's what happens the most and he calls. And then the king of diamonds on the river. And then like he doesn't have any leads as we kind of figured out. Okay, but say he does, which is pretty weird. We can go pretty much either way with our hand. Like, we can min click, can click it big and we can go all in.
Yeah, but in my opinion, it makes no sense. We don't overbet on the turn, so his range is possibly not wider than GTO is assume.
Yeah, no, but not only that, like he has no leads here ever. No matter what sim we're gonna look, he's never gonna kind of block this river on a king against against MP. So like this is not really a thing, but if you can get the max, I like the play.
Yeah, I agree. I like exploit to shove here.
Don't think he's supposed to call with top pair here. I think it's a fairly easy fold after the jump.
A quick question, real
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, so I just want to ask real quick, your opening raise size at the start of the hand was 2.1. I just
Yeah.
wanted to ask, that seemed low for how deep the stacks were.
yeah. I play around 15 tables when I play. And if you look at the player like Bert Stevens, very often, like Bert is gonna be like 200 big blinds deep or 20 big blinds deep. He's just gonna click the 2.1. Okay, there's a lot of like, kind of like, different kind of thought process when it comes to like pre-flop sizes. Some people think it's really important, but in the end, the EV difference is minimal. So personally, I play a lot of tables and I don't wanna put any time for no EV, basically, into thinking about how deep are we, what size should I go for, or blah, blah, blah. So what I'll do is I'm gonna 2.1 all the way down to 20 big blinds, and at 20 big blinds, I will min raise. That's as simple as it is for me. I know I should go 3, blah, 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 and so on, but I don't think there's any EV in that. I think it's, should be avoided at all costs.
Yeah, I cap at
March.
2.5 now. And by the way, that's a nice jam. I would not have thought to jam that many bigs on the river.
Well, I'm going for max value. I mean, like, it's a spot where like, I think like, if like you offer the opponent to make a mistake, and if he makes the mistake, so be it. And if it doesn't, I mean,
Yeah,
it doesn't.
yeah.
you
I
know?
think I would have made it like 35 and been happy with that, but wow.
But Louis, how can you be sure he's not got the straight there? Or you're not worried about that?
You think I'm sure he doesn't have a straight, Andy? I'm not sure. I'm just
No,
just
trying to
because he
stack
has a-
it. Like, sometimes it's gonna show me the straight and then I lose 100 bigs. Yeah, it's gonna happen, but
Okay.
very often, I'm just gonna stack an unwary opponent, right? And I mean,
Okay, yeah.
like, this guy is not the majority of the player pool, right? I think majority of the player pool is gonna fold here kind of easily, especially when you start to move up a little bit in stakes. But
Yeah.
if he could make, like, you're offering him to make a mistake. Whether he makes it or not, it's kind of not up to us, right? So he decides to make the call and we got kind of lucky that he called.
That's a bet.
Okay, cheers.
Wow.
So ace 7 off, yeah. Okay. Check, check, check. Get the ace, check, check, check. The flush completes. We have a top pair, checks down. Not sure what to do here. Maybe I like a bluff.
Not a lot of fives, yeah.
This is a bit greedy, maybe. But sure.
Let's see how your 400 big blind play is multi-way.
So here I went with the bet small because the way I see this kind of play, this guy here is kind of capped and the king is not very good for him because he never has ace king and he never has kings. Whereas when it's an ace high board, it's more like he has plenty of suited aces. So here I know that this kind of board advantages me and we're 200 big blinds deep. So if I ever hit like the backdoor flush or a queen, I wanna play for stacks. So I need to start building. And here with this kind of hand, if I bet that somebody raise, I mean, I'm gonna call and we're gonna see a turn at least, so.
Yep,
I like it.
Oh, I bet, you raise, I call,
yep.
get a very good turn. What kind of sizing is that?
Please call me size.
20.
I don't know
Show
what to
down
do
bet.
here. It's already a tough spot.
Yeah, I was watching some Matt Affleck multi-way videos. And usually when the person in the middle, he has almost 100% check.
Yeah, I'm sure, I'm sure.
But there is some betting.
I mean, I'm giving it a shot, but now I guess for this price, 13% pot odds. Okay, I'm gonna have a queen 8% and then maybe the ace is good. So 6% more for the ace. That means 14%. He's offering me exactly a break. So if I call here, I break even.
Well, with a
Right.
queen, I'm sure you get another bet out of him on the river.
Oh yeah, maybe I'm a small.
So you got some implied odds.
Yeah, yeah. So it's.
You got a lot of implied odds. It's really 5 outs because the club shuts her down. So you're at 12%, but that's fine because implied you can stack him, too, with the offsuit queen. So I think easy call.
I mean, yeah, you just got 100 bigs off of a guy when you had a miracle river, so like you might have some
Yeah.
implied odds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have called that.
I think it's thin, but I think it's probably a
Yeah.
call.
I probably would fold it too.
Yeah, well, he raised the kind of flop and then he
Well,
bet so small like this.
How many
folding.
games were you playing at this time? 55, 60?
I don't know, maybe 15. So like I'm looking
Yeah.
at this and for me, when I'm looking.
Yeah,
at
you
this,
don't have all the
I'm like,
time to do the really quick math when you're playing that
Right.
many tables.
Yeah,
Right, that's true.
and then for me, in a quick look of an eye, it's not gonna be a spot where I'm gonna make a lot of money, I think. I just need a miracle river and then, yeah.
Yeah.
So on that last hand, what do you think that guy was raising the flop with? You think he was raising with any bluffs, or do you think he was raising with value with the guy behind him?
I think here he has like pocket trees, pocket tens, he has a king.
Ten.
He has a queen jack of clubs. Has hands like that, like he's capped, he doesn't have ace king, he doesn't have aces, but he's also like, doesn't have any junk.
But the problem is, like, the third guy in the pot in the big blind, he also has all kinds of flush draws and stuff.
Yeah,
If you have a hand like queen jack here, where you have a big draw, you don't want to get re-raised by the guy who's behind you, and you want to let in the weaker draws too.
Yeah.
Right, like
So
value
probably-
shouldn't be raising here.
so probably a hand that doesn't wanna see the flush completing.
But you're like, the problem is 10 big blinds really gonna disincentivize someone from coming along with a flush draw when there's still 168 big blinds in equity to earn on the turn and river? Like, it's a really bad spot to tip your hand and show your value in this spot, I think.
Yeah, anyway, I think I'm building on a mistake here as well, as I should probably check very often here.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
Whoa.
gonna open.
That's not a raise, dude. That's
Is it
not a
not?
raise.
Is it not?
Ace 10 will fold. Actually, that's just a fold, dude. You're 5 off the button. Ace jack's a fold here.
I'm never gonna win.
It's a fold.
Sure, but people play badly against 3-bets. I think this is a nice out of line 3-bet.
Under the gun raise, under the gun.
I can
win.
tell you, unless you tell me that under the gun is a crusher.
Yeah, ace jack,
Yeah.
it's a fold.
Yeah. So there's a sliver.
Chris knows his charts.
I know my charts because I got stacked because some guy played ace jack in that same spot against me and I didn't put it in his range, or he had ace 10. He wasn't supposed to even have it in his range, and so I was fooled.
Louis, out of position in a 3-bet pot, aren't you supposed to go a little bit bigger?
Probably. But I'm also not supposed to play against a cold caller. And honestly, I'm using a mixed strategy on my sizing here. I'm not, I would size up here with ace king.
Oh, so you're gonna have multiple sizes. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So ace king and ace queen, I would size up, ace jack and ace 10 and other aces, I'm not sizing up. Double barrel here on a 9 pairing. I think that's fine.
I think I would
Tom,
check there.
think so. He has all the
That's,
nines in his range. A lot.
Ugh.
And then the other 9. What do you guys like to do here?
Interesting.
Did he check?
The only better ace he has is ace queen, right? So.
It doesn't,
don't
it
know.
doesn't matter what aces he has now, Ken.
Oh, right.
Any ace is a vote.
Yeah, so we bet.
I would.
I'm still
fold.
gonna-
I think we just bet. I think we
I
bet
guess
small.
the question is, would he flat a 9 on the turn?
Oh, or will we call it jacks, tens? Eights, like he's got other
Yeah.
pairs in his range besides aces if he thinks you're.
If he won't flat a 9 on the turn, you're betting here, but. And I
Yeah.
kind of don't think he would because of the
Well-
flush draw.
How many nines does he actually have in a 3-bet pot?
Yeah, not a lot, but he does have suited 9s.
Yeah,
Not
so I just have one sizing here, really.
Got 10-9, he's got
Ah,
8-9.
3.
Yeah,
Four
I
or
think
five.
small.
Yeah, but
Oh,
only
yes.
diamonds.
You guys
He
wanna
only-
go small.
He only has the diamond in
Yeah,
the
you're
suited.
right.
He only has the
Yeah.
diamonds.
You're right.
Yeah, 'cause we want him to
like
go
I
with
said, I don't
worse.
think he would
So
flat it
he might
anyways.
have, he might have 2 or 3 combinations with a 9 in it.
I only go like 20 to get a crying calls from like worse pairs than ace.
Yep,
Okay,
Yeah,
but I'm going for all the cookies here, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, I go small. I prefer a jam. here.
Well,
it's quite big, Louis. But I mean, he's folding a lot of other pairs here with this
Well-
bet size. I think.
Well, I think like with this size, I mean, I'm trying to get called by ace jacks or tens. Really, that's really it.
yeah.
Or sevens maybe, but it's like. So he calls with eights.
Oh,
Then you picked the right size. I went too light.
Yeah, well.
Morning.
Morning.
hold on,
Hey,
when
what up?
you 3-bet pre, he cold calls you and then calls you 3 streets with pocket eights.
Yeah,
What is that?
All
Weird?
right.
pretty bad, yeah.
Oh, he doesn't have a
Like-
club. So in a turn, maybe without a club, he's hoping you might pick up a like club draw or something and. Who knows?
Three bet versus under the gun open. Wow, that's just crazy.
I don't think he's
Well, that
thinking
deep, eight,
that in
eight, that
depth,
might be the
Ken.
thing with eights that deep, no?
Yeah, I don't think thinks that in depth, Ken.
yeah, so.
or
my
maybe
phone-
he knows Louis and didn't trust him 1 bit on any of the bets.
That's
He's
the
not-
other issue, right? It's because I'm a little bit splashy sometimes.
You saw the screen name.
I'm very nitty most of the time, but sometimes.
Oh,
little-
I'm gonna
what do
see
we,
this
is this the tournament you played the other day, Louis?
Yes,
I'm gonna find his 3-bet range, just curious.
pocket fours. Under the gun.
It's not normally an open.
No, I would fold under the gun.
This
So-
deep though, come on.
Here, usually I go with the Kentio rule. So Kentio here says. If you
KTO
open a
dictates.
hand you shouldn't be here with, and then you get 3-bet, you should probably fold. Now, we're very deep and I'm against this special opponent here, so. who
Yeah,
knows?
I think you have pot odds too.
Usually, that's what I'm doing. It's kind
I
of
thi-
like, I like the idea of opening wider maybe than the charts from under the gun, but if you get your hand caught in the cookie jar. Aboard mission, aboard ship,
And you're not closing the action.
but-
It's small 3-bet.
There's
And
no-
then you
Can't you
would,
just-
you would fold.
Can't you just say that you think this is a leak in your game and you're working on fixing it?
Wow.
Can't you
Yeah.
just say, can't you just say that,
No.
Louis?
Do not say that.
Well, I don't
Literally a
know.
couple of sessions ago.
We're 400
has
big
no
blinds
leaks.
deep here. We're 400 big blinds deep and I think I
The
can.
supreme
stand-
leader has no leaks.
Mhm.
Thing
Yeah.
is.
Are we supposed to be more aggressive as chip leader anyway in this spot?
It's actually a good three bet.
No, it's still early.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I told you my reasoning here, whenever I'm like up to no good and I get caught, I just fold. I don't worry about it.
Everybody else is over 100 big blinds and a couple others at 200. They're still gonna call pretty wide just to see a flop.
Yeah.
Do you ever
You're always
fold
up to
the
no good,
fours,
Louis.
Louis? Do you ever fold the fours pre-flop under the gun? Cause
Okay.
fives is the range, but
Here, as Louis' PR person, I'll respond for him. It's my leak and I'm trying to work on it, guys. Thank you.
And he's always up to no good.
Thank you.
So I defend with jack eight offsuit here, maybe a little bit deeper that, right? Is it? Cuz
I'll check for you at 100. It's probably fine.
indifferent EV, so it's fine.
It's probably fine. Yeah, it's mixing, so it's whatever.
so small bet here, have a gut shot.
It's actually folding, but it is a little wide.
And this is, this is on GG where you don't get, HUDs.
Get what?
There's
A
a
HUD?
small, no, there's a good HUD. There's just not much stats on it, but gives you a good idea. What do you guys do here after it goes check, check on the turn? We float flop. It goes check, check on the turn. Here we are.
You got a marginal made, just check it down.
That call, yeah.
Yeah.
Now you fold. Oh, man, I get in trouble with these kind of hands. I like them too much when I'm this deep.
I would have blasted the turn
Yeah, I kind of want to blast that turn too.
100% with 6 high or blast here.
Yeah, maybe not 100% because we do have a lot of draws. Like we have 8x, we have 9x, we have hands like this, but I want to think about this one sometimes.
So
better
I
than
would
calling.
say, I think it's okay, but you kind of have dirty outs a lot of the time, right? Because
Flop, I'm blasting.
he's gonna have straights that just counterfeit yours, which is gonna not be great.
I don't want to show this. I don't want to show this down. I'm just going to fire and I'm going to fire big.
Don't like that at all.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a bet, maybe a 4 big blinds or something, but I'm not gonna go too bananas here.
Yeah, four big. I like 4.
I think if we're leading, we're supposed to go smaller.
I think it's just so deep.
No, against a
It's
mixed
honestly-
C bet, we'll often
Yeah,
have some
man.
kind of big sizes.
You're not leading.
A little bit, not really, right? A little bit, not really.
Yeah.
It looks like it likes the ones I mentioned. It likes 8x and 9x.
The 7x isn't a good card for us here because on a Jack 10x board is ace, king, ace, queen, pocket kings, pocket queens, all his jacks. There's going to be tons of betting that he does. So he's still in here with all kinds of tens and all the pocket pairs that are less than that.
I kinda agree with
Um,
Pete.
So his range is still going to be really well protected here.
Should be, huh?
So I don't think we get to blast very much because the hands that he doesn't bet also pick up equity with the 7 because they often contain an 8 or a 9. So he's going to have a touch draw in position against us a lot. And we don't have a lot of nuts there, right? That we're representing that he doesn't have, right? Because he's going to have 8, 9 the
have-
same way that we do.
True, but we have
Yeah.
pocket 3s. We've got pocket 7s. We've
Yeah, I
got
wouldn't
10
get, I
jacks
would
as well.
honestly, I wouldn't get too in the weeds with it. I think we kinda get the idea at this point.
Quick
Um,
trick for you, Barry. We're here on the big blind with a very wide range. We're very deep. We don't need to do that. Now here
I
we
think
have
the
the
other-
nuts. What do you guys do?
My takeaway there was you have a lot of 8x and 9x. Focus on that.
Maybe block, maybe, do you ever block here and bluff catch? Cause you're so deep? Maybe bet 2 or something?
Wow, What about shoving?
Shoving's bad. You're only getting called by straights that are
What's
beating
great?
yours.
Which one? 8-9?
Eight, nine?
You think he doesn't call like pocket fives? Or
So
jack 10?
you're targeting the
Well-
rivered set.
Louis, don't you think
Doubles.
Jack 10 double barrels?
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Okay, so what size you got right here?
I don't know. I'd probably bet 2 or something.
I want all in.
Yeah, I'd probably go small too.
This
Cause
is
it looks
absurd.
like he has a marginal hand range.
I don't know. I just think like the other one was like 5x pot or something. This is like 40x pot. I don't think we need a shoving range here. I want to go like, I want my big size to be 2 to 3x pot here.
Yeah, but as you guys see so far, we've seen like, how many hands? We've seen 8 hands. How many times have I been all in on the river?
So,
Three?
yeah, yes, Louis will bluff with a shove like that.
So I like to go all in here a lot. And then put people in the box because when they see a guy shoving, maybe this guy gets annoyed and he's gonna take a stand against me, you know? And so I like to shove a lot on these kind of spots. I'm sure I don't get paid often enough, but when I get paid, I think I get all, you know?
Just curious, when you set up pile for river bets, do you have 2000% in your solution?
No, but I allow the all-in button at all
Oh.
times.
I'm on fire today.
I still think about 2 big
That was a
blinds
good one,
was the,
Chris.
based on his range, I think 2 big blinds was actually the better size.
Okay,
Why didn't you put it into the wizard just to see if it is ever taking any lines like that or?
because for sure never is gonna be a thing. You want, you
Yeah, I
wanna
think
see
so
it?
not. No, you're probably right. You're probably right.
It's definitely not.
I
a
would
thing.
I was just thinking more for like, what actual size does it do? Does it take a big polar line or does it maybe take some blocky line?
Yeah,
Louis, why do you open so small with that deep?
because I think
We
there's.
covered this
no-
already.
There's,
Yeah,
yeah,
he said
I
that.
said it earlier, there's no EV in changing your raise sizes. In my mind,
Or it's like not as big as just playing well. Like you should just focus on playing well. Yeah.
yes.
Like a great player who min raises every spot is gonna do great.
So again, I see bet multi-way out of position with no equity. Alright, seems to be a pattern, call. Okay, we pick up a jack, we're gonna shut down
Reasonable.
and we lose. Okay, straight. See bet small,
Seems good.
As an exploit, when you're deep stacked against Louis, you can call him a little wider, but be careful. He has some pretty non-GTO river sizings.
what do you guys do here?
It's probably a continuing the solver, but I don't know, man. I do a lot of folding here, just.
Yeah.
I ain't I
I'll
ain't
agree.
giving
Yeah.
this guy any chips.
Is that where you're pulling your 4-bet bluff from? The king 5 and king 6 though?
I think the king
Uh,
6 is where it pulls it from some. I'm looking at it now. It actually does pull a little king 5, but it's mainly a fold. It's king 7 and king 9.
Yeah. Well, what kind of
It does
size do you guys
pull.
like here?
You know, I check here sometimes, but
I would check
If I'm-
here.
if I'm gonna bet here, I would bet like 5 or 6.
Okay,
Checking, I think check's okay.
I think this is fine too. Now I'm checking.
Yeah, like out of position, we should always have some of our value range be ready to check raise against cutoff. So it doesn't have to be this hand, but it doesn't have to be every time, but it needs to be sometimes.
alright,
Yeah, 10x is just vulnerable is the only reason, you know, it's kinda, I wanna clean up my equity sometimes.
do you value bet here?
No,
Yes,
why?
yes, because he checked.
You
I-
don't
I'm
think he ever
valuing that.
checks? You don't think he has a protected check range here ever?
I'm sorry, I thought it was big blind. It's small blind, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
I
we
changed
just
my
wanna
mind.
check here.
I thought it was big blind, sorry. I would value bet big blind. I would not value bet small blind here.
Maybe like ace ten with the ace of clubs. Not
This
clubs,
is-
I'm sorry, spades, maybe.
This is high enough up in our value range. You get to bet and fold against a raise.
Yeah, maybe it's a bet.
Maybe.
I don't think it is against small blind. It's a lot different range than.
The eight
think
of
it's
spades
quite
is a really
thin.
bad hand.
I think it's quite thin as a value bet. There's a lot of hands complete on the river.
Yeah,
Yeah.
against
Then-
small blind, big blind, I think it's. okay.
Louis, go back and
butchered
slow
this-
down. Why did you lead the turn?
I butchered this one. So I think I should bet one big blind here.
Yep,
to
I would
start
say
with.
so.
Yeah, so my standard play is betting here, so I don't see why I check call. Makes no sense to me, but sure. And if I check call, why do I lead here?
Yeah, I don't mind a check call, but I'm just checking again and then we're call again as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Leading with third pair doesn't really make sense.
yeah, so I butchered this one pretty bad and then I just. Get punished.
Abort ship. I
Yeah.
think, yeah. Raising's good. I think you're raising pretty small for how deep you are, but it's not a big thing.
He went through that before you were here.
Okay. We don't love this. This is kind of scary, but I'm calling. What on earth? This
What are
is
you
big-
doing? Oh,
What?
oh, he checked,
Yeah,
never mind.
if
What
you
are you guys
raise-
are
I
gonna
thought you were
do? This
talking.
guy's gonna three bet me, he's gonna check
Lou-
flop, I mean.
Louis, if you raise larger, you won't have a 40-1 SPR on the river to shove.
Oh, man, Louis, you set yourself up for some zingers today, man.
Okay, but I do think against the miss C bet, I think our size tends to be small here. I think like third pot is preferred.
This is interesting, man. Like, first off, it's like, he found a three bet from the big blind, which is pretty scary usually versus under the gun. And then he does this check thing and you blast him. Maybe it's a thing. I just think like nines are probably gonna wanna take a card here, I would think.
Yeah,
Okay,
Or not. I mean, we can get like he checks eights there and he's like, I can't just check fold eights just because my opponent bet. But I want to, yeah, and get value
I'm
from
curious.
like two of the
I kinda like, I don't know that I would do it, but. it's
What
kinda-
if he has like ace king? He's
Yeah,
not
you're
gonna
not-
check fold that.
I think you would have seen bet.
You're
small.
not gonna
No,
generate
I
any
think
fold
Jack-
equity
I think
with a
ace-
small bet.
I think ace king can check here a lot. I think it's a pretty reasonable spot to just check call ace king. Gets us to bet with some trashy hands.
First off, he should be like range betting this drive aboard.
Ah.
Like, he's got some checks.
I don't think you ever really range bet out of position.
Three bet pot.
Yeah, I
He's
just
meant
looked
to
at the
conti-
sim.
he's meant to
Actually, I just
continue.
looked at the sim. It's like a range bet, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, this has got more checks
Oh,
than I
okay.
got. But, you,
wrong size.
see, Odin's playing a little more defensively than this,
Well,
but it
Smaller.
still bets small a lot.
Yeah, wrong, I'm going for the wrong size. I am betting with pocket nines.
You buy river with this bet a lot though, which is nice. If you get the turn.
It looks like
option-
you can bet with almost all your range.
Yeah,
Well, that's the
Small.
thing against these. When you're in position against a miss C bet, you just bet small so much because you want to attack their weak capped range, and people aren't going to check raise less effectively. So I think small bets are going to be even more profitable than in the sim.
yeah, so
Effective.
wrong sizing here. Uh-oh.
And I wouldn't, I wouldn't look too much into pocket nines. The entire range was betting. I think this was like one of the
Yeah.
highest frequency checks. But he calls, like after he calls, I feel like this is bad news bears.
Yeah, I'm checking now. I'm trying to.
No,
get-
I mean he can check call ace king there. He can check call pocket eights. I don't like that.
Nah,
I'll check and turn.
Okay, so let's see, guys. What do you guys think flat calls?
But he has
Dude,
like
it's
stuff
a-
like you're narrowing his
Dude,
range down to
it's
like
a big
jacks and
bet, man.
tens
It's
and stuff.
So like,
Jack-
gonna be like queens, ace, queen sometimes. It's gonna be pocket jacks.
I think most
Pocket
players would,
tens.
most players wouldn't miss a C bet with ace queen.
Might miss it with queens.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I think
With queens, I think they're supposed to check.
Yeah,
I'm expecting to be shown like hands like jacks and tens here a fairly high proportion of the
Yeah.
time.
Jackson tens,
Yeah.
To be
Double
honest, though,
pocket-
it's like, his range is really weird because he's not really supposed to be checking a
But
bunch.
he
regardless.
may also have eights and nines in the range. But then are those hands gonna call two big bets?
I mean, if he's
Yeah,
polarized.
that's the thing. I think he can maybe get sticky with something like jacks. I think it's pretty ambitious to get these two big bets in against eights. Like eights, I think finds a fold on the turn. So I think
I-
we're isolating ourselves against the portion of his range that beats us.
Ashwin, I
6-7.
don't think there's many 6-7 suiteds in his three bet range.
I was just gonna
Well,
say,
Bert,
it's
He could
worth
have stuff like
noting,
that. I mean, you can give it to him sometimes
don't
for
know.
sure.
it's worth
From the
noting,
big blind, I think it is.
it's worth
The low
noting.
suited connectors get free bet a lot, don't they? At this
Actually,
Yeah, because his range should be hyperpolar, and so that's what
If
this-
you guys actually look at the range,
I was
6-7
gonna
is
say-
a very high frequency three bet.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so where I'm going with this, basically. I think here, if he has ace queen, he raises. If he has kings, queens, aces, I'm betting big, I'm blasting, he's gonna raise me. So I think when he flats here, he's more like, it's gonna be a hand like sevens, like sixes, like eights,
Or-
6-7. Like
He's
Those are
supposed to, he's supposed
are
to
not
check
three
call
bets.
with pocket queens.
ace five suited maybe. No,
There should
no,
be some ace five.
no, the pocket queen majority bet, there's a sliver of checking, but majority bet.
The
So,
challenge with it is like looking at it and trying to range him using a simulation when he's like in a part of the tree that's not really a thing, makes
Yeah.
it kinda difficult.
yeah. And then here, oh,
I think I check behind the, Get to the
Darren,
river.
yes, it is when you're deep.
so. On the turn, I'm still, it's thin, but I'm still getting paid by ace five, by ace four, by ace three. By pocket sevens, by pocket sixes, by pocket eights. I lose
this is
pocket
crazy.
tens, pocket jacks, but
but do you
Those are
think,
hands not in his
you
range.
think those middle pairs call two big bets with? I could see them calling one bet,
yeah,
but if you bet too large, they give up at some point. Most likely the
Well,
turn.
I think we all know what we think here. Do you want to keep going?
Yes, thank you. There, let's do that.
I would've checked.
Yeah, I mean, I already said my opinion more than once, so I don't need to repeat it again.
yeah, alright.
Oh, so he folded there. Okay.
Yeah, he folded the turn, so here, I'm just gonna flat. We get this and we just fold.
So
Is that
that's
nip?
it.
Wait.
Before we
can
kinda just graze over that, is this a flat? I think it probably is.
Yeah, I think I flat there.
So it was 50 versus squeeze, like EP versus button. I'm just kinda curious. I think it's probably a flat, but I don't know 100%. So
Yeah, I'm
versus
looking at
squeeze,
Because we
solutions
got him
right now
covered.
and GTO Wizard, it likes it like 87% just calling there.
what is it doing the rest of the time, though?
Raised to 22, 13%.
Oh, it is raising, okay.
Lol.
So there's a sliver.
Where's it calling? Where's it drawing the folds from, pulling the folds from? Like, what's the strongest hand it folds there?
And queen off, ace queen off, ace queen off.
Pairwise,
What
pairwise.
pairs?
Oh, pairwise, I mean, starts folding a little bit, pocket fives,
Okay,
32%.
sixes are. better, so.
So it's
It's a 100%
calling,
call with twos and threes those, and it folds pocket fours.
Are you looking at a
31%.
squeeze range? I'm looking at a squeeze range and it's quite different from. what
I
you're
am not,
talking about.
Galen. Yeah, I'm not.
Okay,
I
so the
apologize.
squeeze range I'm looking at is pocket tens is actually 100% indifferent. It's folding as much as it's jamming, and then the rest it's calling. So it's close.
Okay. Now, do you think this is ever a call?
Not
No,
with a heart.
Okay, that's what I
And
thought.
even with a heart, I don't know.
I wouldn't call a squeeze. He's gonna be should be strong.
What do you guys like to do here?
20 effective, you can probably just raise this guy. Calling, it's gonna call a lot, but I think it's 20 effective. You can start raising jack 10 here.
You
I'm
think
raising.
it's calling a lot?
I'm always raising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
I
It's gonna
think
be
it's
Yeah,
calling.
no calling frequency here.
I think the 10 is vulnerable to turn cards, so I would probably raise.
I'm never
Might check
calling.
A little bit, cause the jack gives you some protection versus some overcards, but like I'm still raising.
It might just be full frequency raising. It's just it's kind of a weak one. So, I mean,
Did
he doesn't
we
really
call
care at
more
20,
when
right?
we got?
Very tiny
Did we
C
call
bet as
more?
well. He went like quarter
We
pot.
call more when we got more interaction with the board with a straight draw, possible backdoor straight draw.
I think it's
And
just a
raise
function
more
of it
with-
being 20 big blinds.
No calling with jack ten,
So what's one pip
Okay.
down?
jack nine.
Check. I'm sorry, the worst, one pip down on 10x. So 10-9 suited? Where, wait,
Full
where's the
frequency
other?
10-9 as well. It goes to 10-3 to pair 10 deuce. 10 deuce is the one that calls. That's all.
Okay, that's where I was wondering.
It's 20 big blind, we have top pair, we're going.
Yeah, you're just kind of going with it, right?
Now we get this.
Check? Or you bet? I don't know.
Um,
I check, probably check call.
Yeah, sucks.
I think
You
this is
gotta
the
call.
worst turn for me.
Sure it is. Some of his light floats got there. A lot of his light floats got there.
So I just float.
Oh, I think this is weak.
I called a check, a check raise, he calls, so you might have a better.
Yeah,
hand.
but you only clicked it back. That wasn't much of a decision check raise.
FX.
Three,
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of, and he's short though. That's kind of awkward.
but do you guys ever think he goes 4 into 14 with anything else than an ace?
I
Jack
mean, he
queen,
should be, he
Jack
should show up here with like
queens,
some
queen.
draws, some like queen, jack, jack nine kind of hands, you know, are pretty
10-9.
reasonable in this line.
maybe 10-9, maybe 8-7, 8-9.
You have to work, right?
I think he
Whereas-
shouldn't be,
now, if he
I
has,
think he shouldn't be betting his tens and eights a lot on the turn, but I think he should be betting like aces and bluffs.
if he has tens and eights, he's going to check behind the turn.
I mean,
Yeah, I
he
kinda
realizes
agree.
as much as, I mean, it's a $50 tournament. Like the player's gonna realize the ace is better for him than it is for the big blind at 20 effective a lot. He may just be
Exactly,
range.
and this
What's-
third size, it speaks to me range bet, and so we need to defend, you know, X% of our range against that. And I think Jack 10 is included in that percent of our range.
I mean, I don't blame you for folding, to be honest, Louis, cuz
See-
you're calling the turn to fold the river a lot, but
Yeah.
Can I ask a question before you move on?
Yeah.
What size were you supposed to check raise? So I'm wondering if you check raise larger, if you,
Both sides.
that's to price yourself in so you just don't fold. no
but
matter
hey, you got the
Both
sim up,
sides.
Louis. Let's look what the river's supposed to do since you
So
have
if you
the sim
check
up.
raise large, you probably don't
Yes.
fold.
Let's see if he's supposed to stab at turn a lot, and then
Are you supposed to
I'm
check
with
that
you
turn?
though, Galen. I'm with you on the fact that if we're gonna call this, most of the population's just gonna stuff the river.
Mm,
Yeah, most jack tens check. There's a small sliver of betting.
but Queen 10 just stuffs it in. Just put all your chips in.
Right, so you're still yielding 1.56, which is, I think, more than enough. Like,
It's kind of a
This-
lot.
The sim is going all in.
you're calling, like, you're indifferent at Jack 8.
Yeah,
But like I said, I don't blame you for folding. It's not like.
What check raise size did you put in the sim there?
4.8
it-
and I
It
went
was split,
4.2.
Ken.
So
Yeah, it
my
was-
question was, if you had check raised the large size, how does that change the strategy? I feel like you'll probably never get to fold.
You're never
don't.
folding at small.
Probably not, no.
So- oh, I
You're
thought
not,
they
you've
was
committed
half
too
fold.
much.
I thought it was folding half.
Even if we go small, I'm not supposed to fold here, but I make an exploitative fold. Because-
Yeah,
Kinda like an exploitative, river 40x. pot jam,
especially
you
when
know?
people start getting short, they don't bet as much as they should be betting on the turn. Unless he's a really good player.
More and more that I play this game, I lean towards not calling people and then betting for extreme value on the other hand, always. You never call and you always bet for extreme value.
Yeah,
I think there's something to that. Yep.
yeah, I never like
Yeah,
to take a passive
that's a
line,
rip.
Louis, you know that.
Oops.
Oh, I ran right into aces here.
Yeah, but you played the hand perfectly.
Yeah,
Try another time.
I don't like taking passive lines unless I've got the nuts and it's a low stack to pot.
This is good. Or wait, you are,
dude.
you see bet EP versus the button?
So my
you,
mind, my strategy here is gonna be polarized. I'm gonna check a lot, and when I bet big. If I have ace jack here, I'm gonna bet big. So I go with the big
Yeah.
and he calls.
But I think
Okay.
when you polarize, ace king might be check call.
And then I pick up equity here, right? So what am I supposed to do when I pick up equity?
oh no, like if you bet the flop, I like you betting the turn a lot because
Right.
you have the king of diamonds, you got two overs and you have a clean out to the nuts with a 10.
And then what
But
kind of
I
sizing
think I
should
just
I
rip.
should I go for? I should go for all of them.
I like
I
ripping,
would.
but, I'm more I'm more curious about the decision on the flop, really. No, it bets a lot from under the gun. I just didn't think we bet a lot from under the gun, but it does here. I guess it's probably just because we're so shallow.
Mm,
Oh,
Yeah, this is good. This is fine. I mean, he's
Oh,
out of line. He's out of line. Like, what is he doing with 5-3 there?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that, yeah, if he's gonna call that wide, I mean,
Yeah,
He was trying to
But,
ruin my day.
it doesn't. Odin doesn't seem to be doing a ton of jamming on the turn. It likes the 50% pot sizing, but it's neither
Is
here
it-
nor there. I think it's fine.
Is this a good call or is this more of a fold, you think?
It's a call.
it's a call.
I don't know. Against two players, I could find a fold here sometimes.
You're in the big blind is the problem. Small blind's range is weak. I think it's a pretty slam dunk call.
Okay. So
But,
we,
I will check it because we have the tools to do so.
I would call 9-5.
So
Okay.
hijack, small blind. Yeah, you're not
The
folding,
small blind
suited.
should be,
You're not folding suited
small
combos
blind-
here.
okay,
the small blind should be fairly strong if he's flat calling there, Galen, shouldn't he?
No, you should be fairly capped versus a wide range.
Yeah, yeah, capped, but surely he's got all the small pairs, all the pairs, all the small to medium,
Barry,
plus
why
a
wouldn't
lot
they
of nice
be,
suited connectors.
why wouldn't they be jamming at this this stacked up? A lot of them.
Maybe the slightly bigger ones, but maybe,
no,
don't
no,
think
fours
he's jamming.
are jamming there, so Galen's right.
Bet the top of range and jam the bottom.
It's calling some to be fair to you, Barry, but a lot of them are jamming.
Yeah,
And, right,
You bet
okay.
pot on the turn into two. I don't know if I'm kinda torn between like betting pot here and just checking. I kinda like checking, I think.
I
Why did
think
you wanna
checking's
bet?
probably the best play.
Why did you
I
wanna
would-
bet as opposed to check?
I like the bet. It's, they can call with a lot of stuff here still. It's pretty wet, dynamic board. Can change on the river. The river's gonna change it drastically.
yeah.
Okay, so what are you doing with this hand if the 10 of hearts rolls off on the river and you check, they jam?
well, the thing is here,
fold.
I kinda wanna build the pot, right? A little bit.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
And then he's checking back, so he doesn't have much eight
It-
nines.
It must suck, but I think with the SPR, you have to call off.
I was gonna say I'd probably
With
call.
two
I don't
pair.
think he's Ever checking a 10, that's the, well, yeah, I mean.
What do you think 6-7's doing here? What do you think 6-7 of diamonds is doing here?
Betting
If it was a
smaller.
single, if it was a heads up pot, alright, it's gonna be a little different multi-way and we don't really have a spot to run that, but what do you think 6-7 of diamonds is doing here?
6-7 of diamonds should have bet the flop.
Why? They're out of position.
Who?
Should lead though, right? Should we have some leads? We should have
I mean,
leads on this
hijack's
board
leading
anyway,
a
right?
lot, is betting, c-betting a lot of that stuff on the flop, right? So.
Now, they shouldn't see bet range in a multi-way pot.
But they're good hands that you're gonna bet,
Yeah, if they're good hands, they're gonna bet.
the good draws.
And when it checks through, the small,
To
if
be
the small
fair.
blind had 6-7, he should bet the turn.
To be fair, I don't know the answer. I just think back to like, alright, so Michael Acevedo and Bert Stevens did a, one of their little hand history review things where they were both going through things together, and one thing I learned was in a spot where you have the nuts on the turn, or like a very strong hand on the turn, on a dynamic board where the nuts are likely to shift on the river, you often protect that range on the turn so you don't play face up when the board texture shifts on the river. So like, sometimes when you have the nuts on a super dynamic board such as this, it will check. To kind of protect that range when the board texture does shift on the river.
Alright,
Now, if it's doing that here, I don't know.
right. Well, I went with the big bet. And now this river comes. What do you guys like to do?
Well, so what do you think about your big bet? I understand what you did, but if we're reviewing it, what do you think about it?
Well, I mean, I'm always playing it like that. I don't see any other options. It goes check, check, check. I have a strong part of my range. I'm gonna bet big. Maybe I'm not gonna bet pot, but maybe I'm gonna bet like 65 to 80% pot. For me, it's always a big bet. There's no other way.
Do you, you wanna look at like a DTO sim, maybe see if that's how you're supposed to be playing that?
Sure.
Well,
You're gonna kill me. but I'm
unless,
gonna let 'em
unless
bluff.
you could do it multi-way, it won't.
Well, that's kind of what I said with DTO, like it does do it multi-way.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know the answer is the reason I'm kind of curious about it.
What's DTO? I don't know that one.
It's a training tool, much like GTO Wizard, except that they do multi-way.
DTO poker.
They're pretty soft, so it's limited in the combinations, but it's something that they continually add on.
Does
So I'm looking at a simulation 40 big blinds heads up where the hijack checks back on the flop and we have 6-7 on this exact board texture. 6-7 of diamonds specifically, it's checking 40% of the time still. And when it bets, it's betting, it's going larger sizing a lot. 6 point, how many is 6 big blinds? Yeah, so when
Close
it
to
does bet,
Louis
it goes
size.
large.
Maybe
Um,
it goes large on boards like this where basically it's so draw heavy. Maybe if it wasn't so draw heavy, we check it more,
To
possibly.
be fair, though, the 9-3 in a heads up scenario, it does like a very big bet here. As the top and bottom pair. I just don't, I think it's got some merit in looking at it.
Because you've got two flush draws and a straight draw as well. Is that, is that the reason why we size up here? Because I like what you said, Galen,
We
about
don't-
what Acevedo and that was saying.
And
I
we don't
agree with that,
block,
that we should be checking a lot more.
and we don't
But-
block any of the continues.
And that
Hold on,
is,
hey, let Ken talk real quick. He's been interrupted 3 times now.
alright,
I was gonna say, and we don't block any continues, which is nice with the diamonds, right? So we can get called by a lot more hands that we're crushing.
With referring to a bet or?
Yeah, when
what
we
you're saying?
bet, since we have diamonds and 2 of the cards on the board, like he's got a lot of draws that he's not gonna wanna fold yet. And we don't block any of it, right? We don't block spades, we
Right.
don't block hearts, we don't block whatever, I forget the
Sure.
flop tens.
Sure, if we did block it,
Yep.
maybe we check or bet smaller, right?
So this
Louis,
is gonna be different. This
it,
doesn't
it
bring in
was a
2 flush
different
draws.
3. It was a different 3 because the.
So-
On your board, it brought in the second flush draw.
So
Right.
the three is.
Three of diamonds.
The 5 of spades and the 3 of spades.
There you go. This would be pretty close to what the simulation is.
So now we could just say we have clubs or hearts, like.
So 9-3 definitely does like a big bet in this scenario, but like for the 6-7, for instance, it likes a small bet.
So that's like you're saying, that's actually the super nuts kinda.
Well, 6-7, yeah, it is. I mean, you have the nuts there.
And there's still two flush draws and a bigger straight draw.
Up to his point, though, he was saying you wanna protect your checking range with nutted hands. I was just pointing out that 6-7 is like better, more nutted than 9-3, that's all.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
So I don't see
So-
any strong hands that are protecting the checking range here.
No, I don't either, and I'm kind of looking through that in a multi-way spot. I guess it may be a little bit different.
Yeah,
It just seems to be splitting its bet sizes between small and large. Checking is pretty face up, I suppose, in this scenario.
It takes check a lot, and then airballs.
Mm-hmm.
So what's it
Right,
doing with
so-
like more? If we've got blockers, does the bet become smaller? If we've got a heart or a spade.
I mean, it's
Now, it looks
kinda
like it looks like 9-3 across the board is going big.
Well, you only have the suited combo. So if you have 9-3, you only have the ones that don't have the flush blockers.
It seems that Barry, hearts are going smaller in general,
Okay.
Which makes sense.
right?
Yeah,
think
so I
it's
think this is
better.
good. Like, so I mean, the answer is pretty obvious here. The bet size is good. In a multi-way pot of this sort. It just plays a little bit differently, heads
Look,
up.
Don't close
Some
it. Let's look at
scenarios.
rivers. How do we play different rivers? Like if the flush comes in, like say the 10 of hearts comes in, like Galen asked me. And I really wasn't sure what I would do.
Yeah, it's not an easy spot.
Nasty card.
Well, I think for the
Probably
river,
the
we can go back to GTO wizard because we're heads up for the river.
Well, the ranges are different. That doesn't, you need to stay
Yeah.
here because,
Yeah,
they show up with stronger ranges.
And going back to that 10 of hearts thing, say that did happen, are we throwing a block bet out there?
Ooh.
yeah, definitely.
I guess a block bet would be a reasonable response. I don't hate
Yeah,
that.
that sounds pretty good.
But now we get this river. What do you guys do?
I think when you polarize the turn, you gotta keep the story going.
I know what
think-
Louis does.
Go
I know
for
what
max
Louis
value?
does.
Yeah. I think a jam here is very good.
Shove is valid here.
I'm gonna check on a bluff.
I think the check
I don't
option is
think
the
we check
best option.
much when he checks the turn.
I went with the pot size, maybe I lost value.
The turn didn't check there. We bet pot.
So
And maybe
I can
going for
run-
max value is playing a little face up, so I mean, maybe leave us like 3 big blinds behind or 2 big blinds, maybe a little tricky, I don't know.
I can actually look at this spot in Odin real quick since I have the river up. It's
But
gonna be a little
it
different.
is
in this heads
interesting.
up.
Both flush draws miss. Like you could find some bluffs that really want to go for it here, and you can get
It
paid
just
by a bunch of
jams.
nets where he's like
Yeah, it
never
just-
folding.
Yeah, I don't know
Well-
why I went pot. I prefer jam. here.
Right, so
So-
like the reason you would jam here is because there's infinite amount of bluffs. There's tons of bluffs, tons of hands that missed, and like you have a pretty disguised, very strong hand. Like he's gonna bluff catch you. He should bluff catch you pretty light here sometimes.
Hmm,
That's what I was just thinking. There's so many busted draws. Shouldn't
does
he
the
be checking a
dynamic-
lot this-
Does the dynamic change when the 9, the top card is the one that pairs?
Yeah, this-
Like, what does that say about his potential range now?
Well, I mean, so there's 2 flush
'Cause it's-
draws. There's a bunch of different straights. Like there's a ton of missed draws here. Like I'm looking at the river versus jam. He should be bluff catching you with an ace and a straight blocker at some frequency.
See, I was thinking he's gonna wanna bluff a lot more than bluff catch if we let him, give him a chance.
Wait, did
Well,
you,
we played offense on the turn, so I highly doubt we would switch when the
Right.
equity doesn't complete is my thought.
Do we never check there because of all the busted draws that he was potentially calling?
No, that's the exact reason you
Or-
bet.
Okay.
I think, are you supposed to be 3-betting this combo versus EP? I think you're probably like almost folding this sometimes. So what is this, EP?
no.
We
I
like
don't
to
think
three
so.
bet this.
Did we
I
flat
like
or we
the
3-bet?
It's a,
like the
it's a,
3-bet.
it's a majority fold and a minority 3-bet.
Yeah. I
Well, you
like
know-
the free bet.
Louis, he likes his slivers.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
fine.
finished here. Do you double barrel?
Isn't that a bit wide at 30 big blinds?
I
Ace
think,
7?
it is. It is a bit wide.
It's
And
wide.
I think I would not double barrel there
I think maybe
either.
by 2 pips.
I was gonna say, if you think he knows to lead, he can lead this turn a lot and skips it, I would bet. But if he's a guy that's gonna lead a lot on the 10, then I mean, if he's gonna lead a lot on the 10 pairs, I would bet if he doesn't lead. But if he doesn't know if I didn't think he really knew it was up, I would check.
So is anyone double barreling here?
Mm,
I don't think it's a good double
Nah.
barrel.
Well, I don't think it's a good card to double barrel.
Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna pull the trigger, but looking at this today, this is a key card for in position and it pairs, so I wanna go. I would double barrel
true,
every time.
but we don't pick up no equity. That's the only thing.
Oh, I missed it.
Do you think that's the GTO response or is that the, LTO response?
I
It's,
think
that,
it's
I think
the-
that's the LP response.
Okay. Line for the.
I could be wrong, but I think the second card pairing is just gonna make us always check. It's like one of the worst cards.
That's why. it goes
Yeah,
back
that's
to
what
what I
I'm
think
thinking.
of the big- That's why it goes back to what I think of the big blind, like he gets to probably lead that a fair amount. And if he knows.
And
he
We
doesn't-
actually won't be able to tell because A7's not in range.
It doesn't matter. You can look at other combos. Pretend he's got ace nine or something.
So, bet small is fine.
Yeah, this is good.
Call. The 10 of what comes? Clubs.
Two flush draws, so the clubs.
Let's look at his leading range.
He should have a lot of leads here, I would think.
10
And he
X.
does.
So that's what I'm saying, like, if he doesn't lead here, and I think he's that type of player that's capable of it, then I'm gonna wanna bet more when he misses the lead.
So, when a K card pairs from position, you're gonna very often double barrel. That's what I thought. But I didn't
So-
fire, so. I missed it.
So
But if
a
you
little
put this
less
in an
than an
exploit, I think if this was if you put this in an exploit versus a player that isn't going to lead turn, like if you lock them to check this, I bet you don't bet as much.
Yeah, but I
I
don't.
kind
know why
of could get it.
It's stuck with you here, Ken. I don't think it's good logic. Like all that mental process you're having here, oh, does he lead turn? If he knows to lead turn, then blah, 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 and it affects range and blah, blah, blah. There's zero EV here, Ken. Okay, you need
I
to
kinda
chill
like
out
the
a
fact
little
that
bit. It
this-
doesn't matter whether he leads or not and how that changed strategy. It's not about that. It's about like the board texture and it's a good card for the position and you just barrel it a lot. That's
Board
it.
texture determines how he's.
I like that. I like it that the 10 doesn't change. I mean, basically, there's straight and flush draws out there. The 10 doesn't really. Is a little bit of a brick as well.
I
Yeah,
think
if
I'm
that,
used
if
about-
you go back to that, we are supposed to be checking 54% of the time.
Yeah, that's kinda what
Yeah.
I'm getting at. Like the idea that, it's better for the better.
It's
Then the
definitely not
caller-
a range bet. It's definitely not a range thing.
No, because you have hands that already have value, like your 10x, well, no, not the 10x, but like pocket nine. Like weaker than a 10 here, like probably your worst queens. And then
Mhm.
these pairs, so I wouldn't bet that, and that's actually a big portion of the range. That's why checking is so high here. And then you can't really like double, like you didn't pick up equity with all of these that are like diamonds and hearts, so you can't double barrel them. So that makes sense to me as well, But outside of that, I'm double barreling everything. Just
Yeah, they
because
didn't pick
it's a
up-
key card for in position, but I didn't find it in the game, so. I like the play, but I didn't find it. What do you guys do here?
It's under
Fold.
the gun open 3x. This is like a clear fold.
Fold.
Okay,
Yeah.
You're too short to call.
Yeah.
Hmm,
what do you guys do here?
I
Fold.
wouldn't.
I
wouldn't
can't
be
answer.
here.
I would have folded
wouldn't
to
be
every
here.
bet so far.
So,
I will, I
was
will refer
already
back
gone.
to, I'll refer back to Louis' PR agent. This is a leak in my game and we're working on it.
What about this?
And
Oh,
this
yeah.
is probably, this
Yeah,
is
that
probably
looks,
like
that
whatever.
looks alright.
Okay.
I would have 2x
Whatever.
it or folded.
Yeah.
Now, smaller pairs, if I go with smaller pairs, I like to shove them.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to.
10-4.
It's either jam or fold.
So,
This isn't a PKO either, is it?
no,
No,
it's not. I'm
Wow.
looking at
Wow.
17.5 and it's not really a thing, but you start seeing some mixed frequencies at 15, so it's like I said, it's whatever.
When you see a guy calling you off with 10-4, all of a sudden fives don't look like such a bad jam to open.
Yeah, but maybe sometimes it's just a misclick or a misseeing, like the four looks like an ace, so you have to know it, but
Right, it was
possibly
ace
it's a
10.
risk.
It was ace 10 all the time.
Oh, look at this one.
No,
Brutal.
Yeah, I have queens, he has jacks. Look at the run up. Oh, no. Oh, no. Chop it off.
He got
Wow.
lucky.
30 big blind river.
So this 3x open thing is kind of goofy to me. Like, why do they keep opening so big?
Cause he has a good hand.
Well, I'm sure you're supposed to call that small bet with your gut shot though, Louis.
This is
See?
probably okay. I think you're a pip wide here.
Well,
think, I
thing
don't know.
is, my opponent is very friendly, okay?
I can see that.
When he has a good hand, he makes it clear. Okay, and I figured that out a couple of hands ago. With my, I don't know, but I ran right into it. I three bet him when he opens 3x. And then he check jams the flop on me. And I was like, ooh. So when he makes it 3x, it's very clear. He has something good. So 3x, bet small, he has an ace or king queen already. I can't even float with my backdoor here because it makes it big, so it's that portion of the range. And then when he's friendly, he makes it small. That's like, okay, you can mess with me here. But not when I make it 3x. And then he does this. What are you gonna do?
Can't call.
Oh,
Dude, this is
Previously, what
Oh.
you just said about him, I might make the call there.
dude, this is
I would have
punty.
definitely
this
called.
is always just a 9 or some other pair that he thinks.
Right,
this
that's what I would
five, he's
think.
got like 5s and he thinks they're good.
Dude,
Thing
you're
is-
even behind his bluffs, man. You're behind his bluffs. What do we beat?
Yeah.
What do we beat?
Well, you remember
Eight, four,
he
ace
followed
five.
up with 10-4, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, he's a special type of player, right? And then he, like, it's been like, we've been playing 3-bet pots a little bit too often together by now, and he thinks I'm full of it, right?
Yeah, he's kind of fed up with your
then-
antics a little bit here. I
So he's
mean,
got king,
with
queen or jack,
all the
queen.
previous hands, he thinks that whenever I see that, he jams. I'm
You're
gonna
messing with
fold,
him.
Right?
Yeah.
So my only question is, if you have an out of line opponent, how are you adjusting your range?
Yeah,
to
but
play
thing
versus
is,
that
you have to
opponent?
understand is here, the opponent is not out of line. I am the guy out of line.
You don't think calling with 10-4 suited versus an EP jam is not out of line?
It might be, but he's not doing that against a normal opponent. He's doing that against me.
See, that's
How
your
much
perception.
EV
You don't know
here?
that though. You don't know that.
Well, I kind of have an idea by now because we played a few hands back and forth. And like, he never folded to my 3-bet. He always continued and he always continued aggressively. Now, he might have had it
Well-
every time until now.
So
If
why
he never
you
folds,
try
if
that
he never
bluff
folds to your
A7
three
off
bet,
OP?
why do you bluff A7 off?
Because he make it 2x. That portion of the range I know is absolute
Yeah, but
garbage.
he every time calls and you're out of position makes no sense in my opinion.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You know, when he
Are
makes.
you
it-
trying to talk yourself into a punt here, Louis? Is that what you're saying?
He's trying to justify this call. I
Precisely.
think.
I mean, there is
Precisely.
something to knowing your perception towards your opponent, like
Right.
what you look like to him too. But that's also like, how do
Anyways.
you calculate that? You really can't. So
Well, he's
Because
priced
you're only
himself
beating
in
a
here
bluff
too.
here. And
Three
that's
bet
it.
shove pre-flop or fold or maybe call, but not.
Well,
trying to
I kind of
3-bet.
agree with what Peter was saying. You have priced yourself in almost, like, you don't have to be right that frequently, so like, I see some merit in maybe putting the rest of the chips in sometimes, but
Yeah,
I
this
think,
guy.
you're just in such an obscure spot, like versus a maniac that's gonna be running his equity with almost all of his cards. Do you really wanna run ace 7 offsuit versus that guy, or do you wanna wait for like ace queen when you don't have anything? Like
Well,
play a
yeah,
more
but-
linear range.
But
This is
you've
kind
got-
of maniac versus maniac type of thing, okay? And we understand each other here. And
Love
here,
it.
I think he never expects me to call. right?
Hey,
Thinks
it's the
he thinks
metagame.
I'm out of line. He thinks I'm gonna three bet too much and c bet too much. But the problem is I know that when he goes 2x, he has absolute junk.
Okay, let's see it.
He has almost no fold equity. Like, why do you think he thinks you're gonna fold?
Yeah, I went with the call.
Here's what Louis really
There we
saying.
go.
I can't make it in the NFL as a wide receiver, so I better learn how to punch.
So,
Yeah, man, I don't know, dude. Like, I think the obvious adjustment is
listen,
with a
Gavin,
maniac.
listen, Gavin, this is a maniac versus maniac thing here, okay? I don't expect you to fully understand.
It's the Jedi
I'll
shit.
refer back to the PR agent. This is a leak in my game and we are trying to work on it.
I don't, I,
actively.
I don't think it's a leak here. I think I stand against a guy who I perceive is just absolutely bunting.
You know, Louis, I started off pretty critical of this one, but like I think you had the read, and I think you're right. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would we be saying the same thing if he showed up with ace 10 here?
He
but
did-
I think
That's
the
easy.
real
Yeah,
thing to
but
do
you-
is
This guy
mark
went
these
to
spots where
three
you
flop.
say, I know I'm way out of line, but I have a read, mark them down on a sheet of paper, and then see how often you're right. And then
All I'm saying is, if the guy's crazy, we don't expand our polar regions of the range to combat that. You play a more top-heavy linear game, generically. That's generally how you're supposed to approach that kind of stuff, is my understanding.
Yep.
Okay, so here I went with the bet.
Yeah, I think because of the line he took, he's gonna have
Yeah,
enough
that's good,
equity
I
with
think.
ace high there. That's gonna win often enough, and it's gonna hit often enough. So
I
think it's
honestly
fine.
think the bet here is really bad. I should,
I
Go
think this
different
this
side.
hand more of a check here on this board.
I think, should go bigger.
Yeah, 10
I think
9
it's
with
a
a
check
flush
call.
draw.
Should check.
What do you guys do here?
Ah, it's a tough one.
You rip, or you're gonna raise. You are best and super vulnerable.
Say that again.
Yeah, probably.
That's a
You're
tough
probably
one.
all in with 60%, 70%.
I'm just calling here, I think. I'm just calling. I don't know if I wanna put all the chips in, but
40's a lot for top.
The board is never gonna get better.
Chris, we get.
We have the ace.
somebody's mic is going nuts.
Yeah, Chris, we get echo from you. I had to mute you. Fix it and unmute yourself.
Oh, my brain feels better, thank you.
So I went with the call. Maybe I should raise back some here.
So you started with
sure
a
you should
donk?
raise that.
You started with a donk
I
here?
don't like the donk. It's check raise.
There may be a donk here, maybe. I don't know, to be honest. I don't really donk here a lot, but
I'm
I
not,
don't think it's,
I'm not donking it.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think
Yeah,
it's
I don't
bad.
know. I wouldn't donk it. I'd prefer to check raise.
I'm just gonna pull it up first. And when you get raised, I think calling's probably good. What did you do on the
Yeah.
turn?
I don't think you have any other choice.
Did you check? You check called the turn, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
This is fine. I would call. He takes a non-polar sizing, which is weird. Man, like,
He's just got no bluffs.
dude, this is trouble. Like, he's got diamonds. He's got like big diamonds.
Ace five of diamonds, ace three of diamonds.
Do you think having
Plus
an
he's got
ace here is
overpairs.
good or bad?
Bad.
Okay,
I don't think it's bad.
No,
'cause
I
he
think
shouldn't
it's
be
good.
bluffing ace high, should he?
You're blocking aces. You're blocking a lot of aces, so.
You shouldn't be bluffing aces, right? That much. The ones that connect around the 7 and the 4s, like the straight, like the Bob, the worst aces, he's got a couple that'll bluff like this, but most of them aren't.
So this is a tough spot because it's not really a donk response. We're not seeing a lot of donking here,
on the flop,
but,
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
There's no donk.
no, you're
gonna
not really seeing a lot of donking.
okay,
But when you raise, let's say he raises you.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, I
factor of this-
mean,
The 7 and the
You're-
4 being too far away and you not having enough 2 pair combos to donk there.
If you take a check raise line with this hand and he clicks it back, you are just stuffing, by the way, on the flop. Like, it's just running its equity with, A7 a lot here. Feels bad, man,
You're not-
right? But
Are you on a pay jump here, Louis, that he's keeping one big blind back?
no, look at the stack. This
All
guy
in.
has more chips than Louis. It's an all in.
All right, yeah.
Man, do you bluff catch this? This is a good question. I don't think this is bad. Like, if I expect to lose here a
Not-
lot.
Well,
The 9 and 10s are bricks on, really, they're bricks. Aren't they really?
thing is, if we think about range, so first off, this guy has a mark, otherwise I'm never calling here. So I already have a read on my opponent. And then I think here he's gonna have so much king, queen, so much ace, king, so much like, I don't know,
Two
like
diamonds.
king, jack, brick. And then people, when I lead here, they either overfold or they raise with the wrong range. And I'm also very active and very aggressive. So people don't respect any of my bets. So when he raises me here, like I just call, I know raising back is always gonna be fine at this stack depth. But like this guy's gonna punt. So I'm like, might as well let him punt, see it, safe turn. If it's a king, a queen, jack, I mean, I know I'm kind of cooked, but the 10 is kind of the best Broadway for me, I guess. So he checks, I check, he bets, I call again. And then I mean here, everything breaks, he doesn't really have any jack eight. Does he take this kind of line with like a jack 10? I don't think so. So here, ace 10 is ever ace 10 doing that? I highly
Yeah,
doubt
Ashwin, it's
it.
getting close, Ashwin. It's getting close.
After that, do I have diamonds? Do I block diamonds? I unblock all the diamonds. I unblock the hearts. So. It's really, does he have pocket 10? Pocket aces, or is he bluffing? And this opponent here, I believe is out of line because I have a mark on him from. Simple as that.
Maybe we should,
Are you
break
ever,
out
are you
the,
ever afraid of pocket eights here? Or like higher pocket pairs?
No, because
I-
pocket 8 is gonna be shutting down on this turn.
Yeah, eight shouldn't take this.
Yeah,
what about,
Like ace
what
three,
about-
ace five, ace six with flop
maybe we
back.
should dust off the old Pio solver and break out the node locking function.
Why do you think the 10 is a bad card for, a good card for a hero?
But
Why should he shut down with eights on the 10?
well, the thing is, when I see a 10 here, it's like the best Broadway for me. Because he has to be opening the bottom of his range. And then he has to be like raising, what jack 10 is raising my flop dunk here. Right?
It's hard to say because it's not really a thing, so we don't really
Yeah.
know what the raising range is. That's why I was gonna say maybe taking a look at old Pio solver might help.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually,
Well,
well,
he,
this is a
he
different
may
thing.
still be in pre-GTO mode because pre-GTO, it was just common to raise any small dunk bet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I always did
I want
with,
to
with
call.
range. If anybody bet dunk bet into me, I just raised it.
And he showed up with a hand I thought he would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly one of the hands.
Tools.
Ace three,
But
ace
I would
five,
still
ace six.
say the 10 is a good card for villain.
Set
The only
strategy.
problem
Or
is-
3, 5, 6, maybe 8. 8 is close, is good for hero. Because we don't, or we
Well-
lead on the flop.
I
The
agree.
10, the 10
agree
is
with you.
better. The 10 is better for the big blind. The big blind has many more tens in his range than the,
I think Dominic. here
Hijack.
But
is
we
probably
don't lead
not
with any
wrong.
10 in our range on the board. Makes no sense in my opinion.
Hey, Louis, help me out real quick. Help me construct a donking range. What kind of hands on this flop do you think would be in a donking range? So like top, I think is gonna be
all my 7x, all my 8x, 9x, all my 6x.
So 7x. So are you doing like with pocket sevens too?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. You said all of your 8x?
Yeah.
So like ace 8 is gonna be in there?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
All of the
I'm-
minutes.
I'm not sure about the pocket sevens. I think they should be checked.
Well, we're just gonna, honestly, it doesn't matter because it's a node lock strategy. So however Louis
Yeah.
constructs it is what we're working with.
Okay.
So we got sevens, eights. What else we have? You want like you want your open enders in there and stuff?
Yeah. I'm leading,
Okay.
all the
So-
diamonds, I'm leading all the suit that missed. I'm not leading hearts.
So 5, 6.
Surely you're check
Uh,
raising a lot of paired diamonds, Louis, aren't you? Surely. The low
Agree,
one.
check raising more.
So maybe some like
Well,
three,
with the-
three,
with the-
fives.
With the low diamonds, the problem is that Louis won't have any diamond combinations that match that because that low, the big blinds range should only have the suited combos.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So
It
So if he
hasn't,
sat there with two.
maybe I'm doing this wrong. I haven't done this
If he was
process
sat
in
there
a
with
while.
two low diamonds, Joey, he's probably check raising, right? With 9-5 of diamonds, say.
Yeah, maybe we
Oh,
should
yeah.
don't block it and get back with it on the next session.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, Louis. Yeah, I'm just,
I know it's an
kinda-
interesting hand, but I really make a play based on my opponent, like. 90% of the time here, I'm raising back, but my players that I believe my opponent's gonna punt it off. So I let him punt off and he surely does it, and then I just capture. Was a tough call, honestly, but I had a read.
He's gonna show up with jacks, queens, kings there sometimes. But you probably can't get away from that against a loose player.
in that 3-bet pot, isn't king 10 sometimes a 4-bet?
the offsuit one, I think not.
Never.
No.
Maybe with the suited one, I wasn't paying a close attention to the SPR and stuff.
So
This is,
GP open,
this
I
is
three
normally a
bet
fold.
MP, he 4-bets me. What do you guys do?
yeah. It's a
First
fold.
question is this even a 3-bet? I think it's more of a call, but I'm not sure.
Come on.
I
I
know
think-
it's
I
a
like the 3-bet.
pain.
I think the
It's a
offsuit
pain.
3-bets a little bit and suited just calls.
So,
At 60, it mixes. It definitely does 3-bet some at 60.
okay. Well, facing a 4-bet, I'm always folding, so.
EP, I think that's, yeah, I think that's pretty good. It's, calling the suited one, but it's folding, it's indifferent with the offsuit one, like. It's no fun.
Yeah.
This
Okay,
is kind of
okay.
close. This is kind of close.
Doesn't feel close to
Yeah.
me. Yeah, it's a call. Oh.
What do you think? What do you think is the closest? So what was that, 15?
I'm calling like ace 9 off.
It's EP versus small
Oh,
blind,
it's
so
not-
like,
Oh, I
loose.
thought they bland, I'm sorry, I thought it was button jamming in the big blind.
No, it was, we opened early and then got jammed on by a small blind.
so.
probably
I
calling
think
it.
this is probably the worst ace it calls, right?
Ace
It's
jack off,
indifferent with
baby.
it's indifferent with ace 10 suited and it's mostly folding ace jack off, but it is a call.
See, that's
fine.
what I thought. Ace 10 was like, the close for me.
It is. Yep, you're right.
But what's it do with king, queen suited?
Fold. Easy
King,
call.
queen
call.
is falling. It's king, queen suited is calling, king, queen off is folding.
I would
Yeah,
fold
makes
king.
sense.
The mic better now?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright, thanks.
Thank you, Chris. Oh, yeah, it's fold. I think this is okay. I wonder if you can actually just jam this sometimes.
Yeah,
What
I
is-
think pre-flop jam. Ace 10 off, out of position, sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe the
Different.
suited one calls and the offsuit jams, right?
That's
Maybe.
correct, Barry. It mixes though. It's calling's fine.
So this is just a call, right?
I don't know.
Ye-
I'm thinking about possibly ripping.
So
Yeah, given
when
your
you-
stack, I would probably rip it.
I
Actually, the
think I would
stack's
call.
stack's a
and
good
then
point.
check.
Honestly. If I was deeper, I would call this because you kinda want him to have some bluffs, but I mean, generating some fold equity here is not a bad thing.
I don't think people check raise often enough. I think at this
Yeah, that's
kind
true.
of SPR, you tend to play your draws cautiously, so I'd be surprised if I raise here.
I think everything with ace nine suited plus
As he
calls and
does
all.
the,
Excuse me, can I just finish? Thank you.
yeah,
And all ace suited hurts down ace eight. Okay, ace eight, ace seven is obvious, but ace six, ace four, ace three, ace deuce will shove here.
Okay.
Because I have a similar spot watched up in GTO Wizard yesterday, so. Yeah.
Okay, nice, nice. So the wheels are shoving and the better ones are more like calling, right?
And that's what I discovered.
Makes a lot of sense.
yeah, that
So
does.
I clicked it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more
I mean-
interactions calling.
To be honest, it's fine.
And who? I
I'm
was into it.
about to pull it up in real quick. I wanted to take a quick peek.
Yeah,
I think,
sounds good. So more
I think the
interaction
strategy
calling.
Dominic said makes a lot of sense. Here, jamming,
Yeah,
20 bigs, tens.
Probably fine.
nice.
Right into
And
it,
you rivered them.
right into it.
It's a strong,
What a
It's a
nightmare
good jam.
chair.
What?
Somebody has a nightmare chair. It's squeezing very loud.
This is some call.
So I open, he jams into me, I just call. 10-3. I don't know what they have with 10-3 and 10-4, but. Oh, what about this one?
this is too wide, I think.
I'm calling.
Is it?
GTO Nash wise is a call.
He's jamming worse than
Close.
ace size. Yeah, you gotta call.
Dude, this is crazy. Let me see.
He's jamming way worse, a lot
13 bigs.
worse stuff than ace high. I don't think you get the fold.
Yeah.
Maybe you could fold
I
ace
think you-
three off maybe, but.
Yeah, no, it is calling. Big blind versus R5 from the button. I'm not calling that wide.
Not even.
I got
I
scammed.
think I'd call all suited
Well, that-
aces. I think I'm calling.
Well, that's why I'm kind of like nervous about that is because you're flipping with basically every hand he possibly has or you're behind.
What's the play here?
40 big blinds, I'm just calling.
I call this the pad special now because Pat stacked me in a big game with it.
Do anyone shove if button is like 25 big blinds?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of shoving here sometimes.
Yeah.
20,
But with this
25
button,
effective.
sorry, button.
I
the
think we're
button is
starting to
small,
have
like-
30.
ICM here. That's why I didn't pull it off. And also like I'm 40 effective against him. So it's like, I don't think I.
That's the different.
So I bet small. I'm not sure if it's a good bet.
I think it is.
I
Probably
think so.
fine. It's probably fine.
You get him to fold his king or ace.
King eight off, I raise a lot, blind versus blind.
Yeah, I agree. You can call a lot here, but this is a good hand to raise.
Mm-hmm.
I got
I think-
scammed here.
Sucks.
Yeah, you flopped pretty, but
It's a fold.
What do you guys do here?
This is
Spot this one.
You just jam it.
what a
I think it's
ridiculous.
I think it's a fold.
Just take a flop, take a flop.
To be
call.
honest, you could probably, this is like indifferent at best. Like if it's ICM, I'm
Yeah.
folding this. You're getting scammed here a lot.
You're on the button, which kind of tempts you to just call him, doesn't it?
Dude, I mean, this is essentially a cold four range that you're looking at.
I'm sick to my stomach now.
We're good. We're good.
Ace jack, come on.
Wow. That's bad.
Wow.
We're good. We're good.
Dude, this is complete shenanigans, every bit of
I
that
think
hand.
your play was very reasonable. I think his play was psychotic.
Don't
Yes.
call this Louis. Louis, he's only got 14 bigs behind.
I got caught. I got
Your
scared.
raise call.
Talk to the agent.
No, I think that's this great raise call. Oh, so, excuse me, I thought he was in a big blind.
Alright, he's got it programmed that whenever he has a pocket pair, he doesn't even have to click the button, it automatically just calls for him.
Again, I'll refer to the PR agent. It's a leak in our game and we're working on it.
Okay, so
is
this
fine.
guy goes all in for 3. I have pocket nines. I click it.
I
Yep.
like the
I
clicker.
like it.
I
Yeah,
win.
You click, you click fold versus anyone behind, obvious, oh.
Yeah, honestly, if someone jams, it's definitely a click fold, like if
I'm
small
calling
blind or big blind.
here. I'm
Yeah,
calling
yeah,
here,
Press the
but,
button.
if they wanna.
All in the short stack.
Because I don't think people like, this is like, this guy's going out. We're getting later in the game. If somebody takes a stand with any 2 here, I'd be very surprised.
Is this final
Just-
table or near it or?
We're going there.
Excuse me, one question. Why you click it back? What do you want to achieve? Just, why not call?
Because you're
If you
inviting-
call, if you call, you open the door for somebody to click it
Yep.
and put you in the box. Whereas when you click it, you make it clear that you're gonna play like you wanna see the flop. This is like,
Hmm.
this is your spot kind of, right? Whereas if I don't click it, I just call, somebody might get tricky here. Whereas when I click
Yeah,
it, I think
you're-
it's a lot more straightforward.
You're presenting a
put the
capped
pressure
range
on
when
them.
you, yeah, it's a capped range when you call, so like people can play into you aggressively and put a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Additionally,
and then
you're
the,
letting
and
the
the
big
cutoff's
blind in
deep
for
too, so if
free.
he just
why
calls
is it
behind you and
excuse me,
invites
why is
call.
it cat? I have all my strong overpairs and I have some weak shit. I just call it. Why is it cat? I don't get it.
Because
then
In
you're
my opinion,
constructing-
the clickback is more cat because I
Well,
only do my strong
so-
hands and all the trash I call.
I would look at, I would, implore you to look at HRC and see how,
Mhm.
the most optimal ways of playing spots like this are. And I would
Okay.
promise you, flats here are capped because you're giving the big blind a price to call with almost any 2, which is
Yes.
kind of a disaster. You don't wanna
Okay.
play a multi-way plot,
Agree.
almost 40 effective.
No.
And that's one of the big things. And then like, you know,
Okay,
like
that,
Louis was
that makes
saying,
sense. Okay. Okay,
Yep,
that makes sense.
cool.
Thank you.
There might be some
question.
flat calling with aces, but that's about it.
yeah, that's about it. I agree with you there.
Hmm.
I have a
Okay.
question for you here, Galen. At what stack depth do the 9s jam? The JL has a rule, is it 6 or 7?
I don't know,
Times the
man,
bet.
like 20 big blinds, I probably start
Yeah, I
jamming.
think it's supposed
I
to
look
be
at like,
21 is
Yeah,
where it jams.
makes sense.
6
I
or
don't know.
7. Otherwise, you min click over. I can't remember if it's 6 or 7 bigs. You min click it.
I kinda look at what the dead money in the pot is and use that to kind of guide my decision making in those spots. So if it's like 15-20% increase to my stack, I'm probably just gonna try to jam.
Okay, that's a good rule too.
Alright, what do you guys like to do here?
I like your bet, I think. I like a bet here. You got a good blocker, you got a good top pair.
It's a pair board and the flush completed.
I don't know, maybe 6 or 7, fold to a jam. Yeah, I think this is okay.
Yeah.
This is a bit wide, I think. But it's probably fine, to be honest.
Do you
When you
double?
say when you say paired board and flush completed, that means you downsize. That's why you brought that up.
I think it's a spot where you need to be cautious because you're against a big blind on a pair board with a low
Right,
card.
so you downsize your bet because of that?
Yeah, I think what he's saying is you just approach it more cautiously, Chris, so you're not gonna see these giant polar bets on a spot like that.
No. Yeah.
Do you double barrel here?
The queen's much better for us than it is for him generally as an opener. I would probably double barrel, maybe 5,
Okay.
6.
I like a
Yeah.
double barrel there, Louis.
I give up.
Now you gotta give up,
Only
like I think the jig
yeah.
is up.
Yeah.
I think
The
only
jig is up.
because if he's playing a called flat, he's got to call with a 5 or 6. So when you fire again on another Broadway, it's hard for him to call
Look at
unless
this
he's got a
flop.
king. Sure.
Oh, I like this spot.
Oh, underboat, yeah.
This is probably like, okay.
Mm.
10-8 is an overbet
You-
in my opinion on the turn, or isn't it?
Blind against blind, ranges are very wide. You don't wanna lose your customer. You gotta be cautious.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably not horrible, but I think you got the board so locked up, sizes might generally be smaller.
Okay.
Nice.
This is okay. I would like another, yeah, maybe a bit big. It's just gonna be hard for him to continue. I think it's fine, though.
Mhm.
Good.
Mm.
I probably defend.
Scrolling through the hand history of something on HRC, I'm guessing you're probably around the bubble or just post bubble.
So this right here, that hand, you
You
don't like
just
continuing
folded
there?
the gutter ball.
Well, he had a gutter and an over is the only reason I'm kind of questioning it.
What,
Sure.
why not 3-bet shove?
Small size,
It's a
yeah.
small
Excellent
bet, it's a
suited.
small bet.
Dude, raise.
He's
Raise
not
it.
deep enough. He just doesn't have the stack depth where I can play with backdoors like this or gotcha.
I would, say it's probably a call. I don't know if I like raising because you're gonna just get pushed off your equity some here.
Yeah.
I'm calling jack seven of hearts. I'm calling or raising clubs. I'm not continuing with this one. You guys think it's a
I think
continuum
this is
for
a call.
reals?
I think it's a continue.
I mean, deeper.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's a call
Check
and a
raise.
raise with a club.
Well, yeah, you got the over is the only reason I think you continue here.
If you're gonna be this, if you're gonna be this tight post flop, you should probably fold pre-flop.
I like that, Peter. I say that kind of stuff all the time. I think that's a good heuristic.
And if you're
I
in
think if
the
you were a bit deeper, this
ICM,
would check raise, honestly.
if you're in the ICM spot close to, like Ken says, you're close to the bubble here, I can get behind folding this hand.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree with your thoughts completely, Peter. I like it a lot, actually.
Okay, it's a full frequency call.
Yeah, it's 1.49, so it's
Where's
pretty
the
good.
raising come in?
I think the raises probably come from the,
One with a
like
club.
blocking.
Oh, what do you guys do here? Fold?
Suited 5.
It's probably too good to
Right.
fold.
What about
Oh, this is,
This is a
okay, so
jam.
like a chippy V spot, this is probably pretty close to a jam. If not just a
Yeah.
jam, but I think in ICM, I just fold.
this is the bad
Yeah,
special.
maybe. Mm,
I agree with that.
What do you do with the bad
Wow.
special?
This is like, honestly, I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. I just think
No.
if it's truly like a ICM rich spot, you kinda want a blocker.
I think he's still pre-bubble, 67 hands in. It's probably like getting near, like bubble-ish. I don't think
Okay.
he's in the money yet.
So, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
that's okay then.
I'm deep in the tournament at this point.
Is having the 10 good for your, for getting folds from your opponent here?
I think the 10 is gonna be a good spot to pull from the bluffs typically. Like. I'm more concerned about having the queen. We're kind of blocking the folds when we have a queen here. Like, I think a king or an ace would be a much more attractive spot. But.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there. I think it's, like I said, it's probably fine.
The
I
flatters-
think when we were looking the other day, one of the heuristics was when we've got a suited Broadway that had like a queen, a jack or 10, we were doing a lot of jamming with those hands.
But they're like. There's ICM here. It's gonna change how we kind of play some of those
Yeah.
portions of the range. Because their opening ranges are gonna be different, right?
But this isn't deep ICM though, like Ken was saying.
No,
Yeah, I'm
no,
not sure.
we're very deep in the
Yeah,
tournament.
he skips a lot. I didn't notice he skipped a lot of hands. The blinds
Oh,
are
okay.
now it's 17-5 and 35,000. And a couple hands ago, it was like 12,000. So it's gone up quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm filtering by VPIP. So we see that.
You went for the dead, you
0.56.
got greedy, Louis, and went for the dead money, didn't you?
Where?
I
Here?
think I remember this hand. I remember this hand and I'm thinking like, oh, good game. Yeah, good hold.
Nice.
So do you like three betting smaller when you start getting deeper in ICM with these portions of the range? Or are you still doing 3x all the time?
No, it depends. It really depends. I thought we were deep enough to go for a 3x. 28,
27,
yeah.
28?
If I
Yeah,
was
I mean, it's
20, I would make it 5.
I
I
guess
would've
my
made
only
it
cons-
5.5.
my only
I
concern
think.
would be is if the big blind jams. He's gonna close the action. Like luckily the button jammed, so
Exactly.
the action's still open, but if the big blind would have just jammed, the action would have been closed, letting the initial opener just in, right? All the time.
Yep.
So,
That's
yeah,
why,
maybe you make it 5 and then you no, even if you make it 5, you have to make it 4.5. I think that's not good.
No, 5 would have
Nope.
worked because
No, you don't.
five's only a 3 big blind raise, so it still leaves him 4.5 behind.
Yeah, you can
reopen
make
the
it 5.5 there is the number I was thinking. Galen's exactly right, what he's telling you there.
Okay.
It's
But, I mean, it's-
5.5, you get to reopen and stuff it.
We fold.
But again, if you're playing 15 tables, you aren't gonna pick this stuff up.
What do you guys do?
Okay, this one's kind of interesting. I think in ICM, I'm just letting this go. I like this fold. I think this a hard fold. I
So
get towards
apparently-
the,
Yeah, that's a tough.
Well, you're gonna be ahead of too much of his stuff there.
you think
that's for
EP
sure
versus
a chip.
EP? Oh, chip EV without a doubt.
think-
Chip EV without a doubt.
LP, hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. Go back to a couple hands before the one you just played that you didn't show. Ace 2 off. The analyzer showing that you probably shouldn't have folded, but I mean, I didn't run it in depth. It's just a quick analyze. Looks like a hand you could have played from the hijack.
Ace 2, oh, I could have raised.
Look at it. Yeah, it was right before the king, queen. Yeah, king, queen suited. The hand before that was 7-5-0. The hand before that's ace 2-0.
I could have min raised.
You open folded. You probably could have played it.
Okay.
I'm wondering what you were going to say, Peter, about the Queen King. Whether you think because it sounded like you were talking about it could be a call.
Yeah, like he's gonna be jamming enough stuff there that we're ahead of. All
Yeah.
the suited broadways.
And we had a lot of chips.
Yeah, like we're pretty deep stacked there. And flipping at chip EV isn't good, but we're just ahead of enough stuff there. I think that I would take that spot.
In an
Yeah.
ICM spot.
So
Yeah, it
here,
would be,
I went with the call.
It would be an interesting HRC simulation, I think.
Yeah, I just want to interject the 3-3 hand, which I didn't see because I was looking on HRC was apparently you played it. It was a huge punt. Huge.
This one,
3-3, this?
It says minus 1.86.
what am I supposed
Flop's
to do
okay.
here?
I would probably continue.
I mean, just thought you're not supposed to call.
I would never
Fold
call
We're
it.
not supposed to call.
What is
We're not
this?
supposed to call the min raise.
Well, I can run it. I didn't run it. It's just a quick analyzer's got it my 1.86. It's not, it doesn't like it. I can't tell you why. I didn't run the whole thing in depth.
Backdoor straight.
Because it's ICM.
But apparently you're in
Maybe
a
because
because
it's ICM.
maybe it wants to raise. I don't know. It's probably wants just to fold.
Yeah, I'd call.
Doesn't seem to make sense, right? But
Is it because it's an ICM spot?
but it's a
Maybe.
big minus. It's a big one.
Yeah, maybe.
It's
I-
because there's no heart. Yeah, there's no heart.
No,
You
I'm
got
talking
one
about
dirty.
pre-flop. This is just pre-flop I'm looking at.
Pre-flop.
Saying the call is a big mistake.
Again, I'll
Twos
refer
as
to the, I'll refer to the PR agent again. Small pairs, it's a leak in our game. We're actively working on it. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
40
hard not
big
to call a
blinds.
min raise there though, isn't it? With any hand.
Alright, so here I made an interesting play because I
Hold on.
thought my opponent was overly tight and I thought this board didn't hit him at all. So I went with a small bet. What do you guys
Yeah,
think about that?
perfect.
I don't mind this. I just don't like your hand. Like you're blocking the hands that we would probably be targeting, wouldn't you? Right?
Yeah,
That's the only
Yeah,
thing,
but
that's
he-
my only comment about it. I don't mind the play. I just don't like the combo you chose.
He still has lots of other two Broadway hands there. I think you can range donk that a lot.
It's probably not bad.
is this fine?
This is,
I'll see.
so, let's see what 20, I think this is okay, to be quite honest. Like, it's gonna be hard to make this bad, I think. Like tens is more of an interesting question in my mind. That's absolutely atrocious, what he did, though.
Too much pressure.
Um,
You had to release the pressure.
I guess he had to go. He was like, you know, mom's calling, she needs the computer, I gotta get out of here. Again, probably quite alright.
Uh-oh.
You don't like that river, Louis, do you?
Uh-oh.
No, I didn't like that one.
Ooh, scam us.
Jacks giveth, Jacks taketh away.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the hand of the hour. Louis was so heartbroken at this point. He was ready to go play some Path of Exile. He was like, you know what?
Yeah, and there's some dead money in the pot. So let's run it.
I muted him. You can
Listen
unmute
to your
yourself,
heart.
Gavin.
Why did you mute me?
Ding! Come on, show the river, Louis. Ding!
He was speaking the truth though.
So I'm
We saw
like,
the flop.
okay, 5 big blinds, I go all in, they call, I'm like, okay, I see this flop, I'm like, I'm dead. Check, check, okay, I'm dead, check, check, give me an ace on the river, oh my god, is this really the end of it?
You're finished. Not.
Check,
Show us the Queen Kings.
Easy. Yeah.
Barry, that's exactly what I said. I was like, don't lose hope yet. They could both have king, queen.
and then I was like, oh my goodness. Big pot here, so here
Let's
I
go.
get it. Oh my
This is
goodness,
this is probably fine.
I run right into it.
You know, is it fine though? Is it? I think it's okay, but I don't.
Yeah,
See, we say that confidently.
Then he shows ace king and it's like, ugh.
It's a close one in an ICM. It's a chip EV. It's definitely fine, isn't it?
So I'm looking at a 6 max equal stack ICM simulation and it likes calling here more than it likes jamming.
So it's limping.
It is limping some,
Okay,
but I
But
mean.
what about chip
that-
EV?
That's not this exact scenario. Chippy V is
The-
gonna be fine jamming.
The offsuit block of hands, king, queen, king, jack, queen, jack, and queen 10 are all gonna wanna limp there to try and get worse hands to stack off with a worse king or a worse queen there.
Well, yeah, you gotta have something strong protecting the limp range and it's
Yeah.
pulling from some of those hands, like Peter's saying.
Louis, go back to that flop. Did you dunk lead there?
yeah,
What, why do you find a dunk lead there?
because I'm
This is
limping
a-
with a very
This
wide
is a limp
range.
check. It's a limp check. It's not even a donk. It's just a lead, which is completely fine on a paired board like that.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
It's got
okay.
good.
thought it was fine to start a little bit. That's my
Yeah,
start.
it's definitely fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, limp check. Yeah, I could see that.
All the cookies. More cookies.
Hoping I'll get to own you lot in this tournament tonight.
I mean, we
Rejam.
gotta just go for this one, right?
Yeah. Rejam.
What do we do with ace jack?
Same thing, put it in.
There's jack
Final
fold.
final two tables? Yeah, I'm thinking like ace jack pie folds. That's probably like the worst I go with there.
We covered him a lot, so it's
Okay.
no problem. If he covered us, maybe it's a thing with ICM.
I remember that hand. Look at this. Under the gun open. I called.
No, you misclicked here.
Misclick.
This was a complete misclick. You were so excited. I remember this. I said you might actually win this tournament, and then I made a joke about saying, well, not if you're gonna misclick things.
Yeah. Yeah, I misclicked. So I just not fold. I was like, oh my goodness. What have I done? This deep, late in a big tournament like that, that's an expensive mistake.
It is. This is final two or three tables, for
Yeah.
sure.
I reject.
Jesus, aces,
kings, ace king.
Wow.
That sucks.
Yeah, he played the jacks well. I think.
So we
Yeah,
can,
no, it's a fine hand. It's just a cooler spot. It's whatever.
Yeah. I like the way he limp jammed.
So,
Yeah, I don't
yeah, I
know.
think it's fine. He raised 4.47. I think you just let it
Okay.
go.
I didn't notice that.
here we are,
Is this final table now?
final table.
Okay.
Yes, Ashwin, this is the final table, sir.
Fold.
Alright,
Fold.
I will bring the
Yeah.
PR agent back out. Small pairs are a leak in our game, as I once said before, and we are working on it. Thank you.
I won the pot.
Yeah, but it's ICM, you gotta fold there.
What do you guys do here?
You can three bet this at some frequency. I
I
think I
think
prefer
so.
three betting. I prefer three betting, actually. Bet
Oh,
small.
what's a flop?
It's good spot, good hand. I
It's not
know
a good, it's
that,
not a good spot. Not to flat
Right.
call in a sandwich. You want to call on the button or the big blind with this.
Yeah, there's two shoving stacks behind.
but have you guys ever felt the thrill of flopping a set?
On a
It's the only
final
real
table.
Yeah, on the button or the blinds.
I never have.
That's the only real, that's the real question.
I had a set in
But yeah, there's-
1981 once. That was fun.
Ah, the good old
It's a nice
days.
thrill.
What do you guys do here?
Man, so I think this is just a call.
call.
Nines are not good.
Nines are very good.
Nines are double blocking the bottom of his opening range. He's a middling stack. There's a 5 big blind stack. Like, this guy is not just opening wide portions of the range.
What about this lead?
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, but with ICM, shouldn't his bottom of range be like a pip or two higher?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
It
the
should.
nines actually might not be blocking the bottom of his range if he's adjusting to ICM.
Should you not bet like 4 here?
With second pair, no.
You're pricing
like
in
it.
clubs.
So what are you targeting here that you're not already beating?
I'm
Ace
targeting
king.
the 5.6 big blind in the middle.
Right, so you're trying to help yourself realize equity,
Yeah.
which I can understand.
Oh,
I
no.
You're kind of in no man's land now is the only problem I have with this.
Yeah, I went with the bet small because I have more backdoor flushes. And I have some queen X that plays like this after he goes check, check, and it's tough for him to do anything about it unless he has either
So-
flush or like the pocket.
So Ashwin, yes, you're correct with equity
I like
denial.
the, I
but
like the block bet.
Typically, we don't use this hand class for equity denial.
Yeah,
Is,
yeah, so. it
but
puts
yeah,
me
you're
in the
right.
box. What do you guys do?
Yeah, and well, I mean, I don't think there's any question what you do here.
Well, I'm
You just-
asking.
It's
I
fair.
think it's a fold. Clear fold.
Okay,
I don't often say I know, but I'm pretty confident that's a fold.
I mean, Louis was thinking about it back when it was happening, and you were like, "Don't. This isn't even a question."
I know, he was
I don't
stressing
think
me
it
out.
is there.
He was stressing me out, man. It's like, dude, there's too much money.
Uh,
Don't punt.
I don't know if he was actually thinking about it or just doing it to deliberately stress you out.
You gotta go here, my man. We both know, you know, I know. We
oh
know.
my goodness, we're missing one hand before that. You know why?
What was the hand?
We have to see it. Absolutely have to see it, but I'll show it another way because,
You didn't VPIP?
exactly. Was it that?
He didn't VPP.
Was the Vincent Lamb hand?
I don't remember.
You
But
don't remember? Well.
If you're pulling it up, it was ridiculous, I'm sure.
Yeah, so the way this went.
Oh, It was a fold, that's right.
Okay, so this player opens. This player three bets. This player four bets. To 10 big blinds. And I'm looking at it with ace king. What do you guys think is the best play here?
I don't like it at all. It's in a
Yeah.
chippy V spot. I might punt, but not here.
Yeah, you gotta let it go, man. I think you made a good fold.
Yeah.
fine, okay. The question is, what do you guys with queens then?
I think
Queens
queens might even be borderline fold too.
Honestly, queens are
Yeah.
more.
Yep,
Like,
I
so
agree.
there's Louis. What place are you in, Louis? You're essentially fourth in chips here. There's like two really clear short stacks.
I'm third.
Well,
And
there's,
two short stacks and I have 10 bigs above the pack.
well, you're fourth, cuz there's cool, Katoot, no nuts, no glory, the four better. I'll have more chips than you, but,
Oh, okay. Okay, okay.
but, yeah, it's the same point, right? Like, there's too much money on the line for you to be calling against a range that's, if it doesn't have bluffs, you're just doing horrible against. I think queens fold here.
Yeah,
I think so.
queens might be a fold. I think aces and kings might be the only thing that,
The
Ken,
real
It's
tough ones,
always for them.
Ken,
honestly,
can
if
you
you could
look
put
this
this in
up?
HRC, yeah, if you put this in HRC, I think that would be really good. I would be shocked to
question.
see,
I'm back.
ace
Welcome
king
back,
suited
Ken. We
would
would
be,
like to see this hand where this guy opens, this guy three bets, this guy four bets.
I'm looking for it.
And I'm on the big line with this king off, 33 big blinds.
you gotta put the payouts in though.
Quick
Uh,
question, Louis. What do the stars mean above players' heads on GG like that?
That means you're a GG, actually, it means you're in the rare breed of players.
Oh my
that
gosh,
Have
stop it.
accomplished what
Stop
others,
Of donkeys.
which is you've won, you entered the grandiose club of the
Oh
GG Master Champions.
You just won a feature tournament, that's all it means.
And then, you know, some mortals win it one time and then some others win it twice and then three times sometimes even.
Tell me the action.
Katsukera opens for two big blinds. Genki raised to 5. And then
So JT's in position. Let me give him a 2.5x raise. Alright, that's all we need probably, right?
and then the
There's a
other,
four bet.
no, this guy makes it 10 big blinds.
4 bets, so that's 4x.
4x, the 2, no, that's 5x, 5x.
Scroll down and actually look, was it actually just 10? I thought it was like 11 something or something.
It was 10, I remember.
Well,
You don't
Scroll-
even really like kings in this spot. You really don't like it.
No,
I
you
mean, it
don't.
was a min click then a min click.
Yeah. Kings looks disgusting when you see that.
this is gonna be annoying. Cause it goes to percentages when you go to 4 bets.
Percentages relative to what?
I don't know. That's why it's annoying. Let me just run it out, set up.
probably to the pot.
Maybe.
We could probably sit and figure that out.
I would just choose
Now-
the lowest sizing pin.
Let's just see let's see what it looks like after I run it like this. So who opened?
Looks
For the
like
position.
low
A low
jack,
jack player.
low jack opens, high jack,
MP.
3 bets,
MP.
small blind, 4 bets.
Hold on, hijack goes to
Yep.
5. I got that. Who 4 bets?
Small blind.
Small blind.
I mean, he's
Let's make it
probably
a
at worst
force
ace
small
king
blind
suited, pocket
jam.
queens.
You gotta go, you gotta give him a non all in sizing.
So I gotta play with the percentages. This is so annoying. He's not supposed to really have this. So
Seven.
let me go to like 45, see what happens. So. MP1 open, hijack, 3 bets. Still forcing them to jam. Let me
To be
see.
honest, you could look at it with a jamming range and it's, I mean, it's not gonna be that much different.
I agree.
Try one more time.
I think you gotta play with the all-in threshold. I think is kinda where you're probably running it.
That's what I'm
Okay.
doing. But it's percentages, so it's not easy to figure
Well,
out.
just, why don't you make the all-in threshold, like 0 or 100?
Yeah, I'm trying
So,
zero now.
okay, cuz if you just take the all-in threshold away, you can probably just
Well,
force it
it's
to
a,
do
it's
whatever
about a
size.
33% pot size raise.
So we can step forward and look at in 5 minutes back if the
I'm sorry,
simulation is done.
I didn't understand. What'd you say?
We just want to go to the next hand and wait just until the simulation is done and watch it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we
Okay.
can. It's up to you guys. I don't really mind.
Yeah, sure, we could do that. So. Yeah, so this hand was like I stuffed. Then it was ace king, and then I
Yeah,
told
this
myself,
is,
this time I'm not folding ace king. This guy, we already figured out he was out of line with what he was up to, and I'm the shortest stack here. So I have like the least risk. No, I'm not the shortest, but I'm one of the shortest. And I have ace king, so I think
you're
it's.
you're tied for sixth place. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean, it's a good call. It's a good call.
Ace king against ace queen. And let's go.
And
then
now
I
you're
just
forehanded.
fold. Yeah, I just fold. I went with the all-in here.
That's good.
This is
This is-
the queen 10 hand Ken was talking about.
What did he say about this hand?
I got him to raise to 9.64. How big did he raise? A little
10.
over 10, you said?
Yeah,
Yeah,
10.
that's pretty close.
9.64.
That's like right there.
Cody, thank you for stopping by, man. Have a good day.
I can get it a little, he went bigger though, right? I can make it a little bit closer.
He went 10 big blinds. He went 10 big blinds. So, I mean, you're within the margin of a reasonable response.
Jack. Alright, I got it to 9.92. That's gonna have to be close enough.
Okay, do you wanna share your screen Ken or we continue?
If you wanna watch it run.
Okay, well, we'll come back to it. So I went with the C bet small here, my opponent calls. This guy has 5 million in winnings on GG. He's a good player.
Oh, this is a good one to, I was curious about this one post flop too.
Yeah. Am I supposed to double barrel here?
I kinda like a double barrel, man. I kinda like a
Yeah.
double barrel.
I do too.
We picked up equity. We don't really have showdown. You got queen high. We can put a lot of pressure on him.
The thing is, with ICM, we want to bet small on the smaller side. We want to keep all pots very small. That's
This is
what I
true.
picked up. Yes, that's true.
I agree.
It is true.
Yeah, small pots bets are very effective at ICM spots, right? Cause they're not chasing backdoor crap and stuff like that.
But I thought that I have like my range is uncapped and here is a little bit capped. It's not super capped, but it is a little bit. So I thought that all my aces, X hands want a double barrel here. I have ace king, ace five, ace six, ace seven, ace queen, sevens, fives, sixes. All want a double barrel big, puts him in the box. But as Dominic says, you should keep the, like, you wanna keep the pot small. And I'm playing against like second in chips, so I'm like no business trying to aggress him. So I went with this. And he calls. We get this river. He checks. What do you guys like to do here?
Oh, nice.
Man, I think, see,
Check.
me and Nick talked about this briefly, and the fact that you have a 10 here. And you brick the back door, not the front door, makes me wanna bluff.
Yeah, me too.
Even with a
That's
four
right.
liner out there?
You
We
have the
block
10,
that.
you block 9-10, which is like the uber nuts. Like if you have a bluff combo for the straight, this is it. This is like, the 10's very good for that.
So my thing
Now,
was like, I double barrel and my second barrel was big. And he called a big bet. And it's like the end. And the pot is like pretty big now and I think if I put all my fold equity together on the turn and, you know,
So like ace seven, ace six, ace five, heart combos.
it's a four, honestly, it's a four liner. And I'm against the big blind. This thing got out of hand pretty quickly. I mean,
It's really good for the big blind, right? Maybe it is just a, yeah. I
Super
think
good for
it
the
is.
big line. I'd probably fold. I'd just check it back.
So if you guys wanted, since this is basically towards the end of the tournament, we could. What we could do with this hand is, you could generate some HRC ranges for the big blind in our opening range. You could put those in Pio with ICM adjustments, and we could actually see the response here, which I think would be a pretty fun exercise towards the end of this, if you guys wanted to do that.
yeah, but we also have our own game starting in 15 minutes.
20
20
minutes.
minutes?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's-
right, right. You guys did the home game earlier today. Okay.
Yes.
There's too many times where he's just gonna show up
Oh.
with the 9 or the 4 of hearts from the big blind here.
So
Yeah, ranges are close, so it could have anything.
I didn't go for the bluff here. I checked back. I gave up and then he had the straight. So like he was
See.
never folding no matter what I was doing.
I never.
Yeah, maybe, probably not. You're probably right, but it would be interesting to look at in theory, I think.
Oh, I agree with you. We can run it and start the next session.
It, with that big blind, the kings, is there any times where you just, check behind
Never,
with the small stack?
never. 10 big blinds, ICM, this guy is shorter than me. So if I check here, this is gonna be a nice sideboard most of the time. It's just like combinations, it's gonna be more ace sideboards than anything else, so. I'm not, I'm
Being
not,
tricky.
yeah,
Okay,
too much money on the line here, I'm just.
yeah, well, when you mentioned ICM, I just agreed then. It's like, yeah, he's right.
This isn't showing the
I wonder
ante.
if there's any, I wonder if there, do you think there's any kind of min raise in there though, Louis? Or making it, you know, on the limper?
No, I don't
So
think
I
so.
see that and I think it's dumb that short. Like sometimes you'll see it raising it from like 9, 8. I see raises sometimes on HRC when you're 8, 9 big blinds. I don't understand it. Or one of these programs we've been looking at.
Right.
Yeah, but I do agree with high ICM spots, I do tend to like just take the lower variance
twitching.
spot of shoving.
So here, I went with the open jam. You guys think about that?
I think it's fine. You have a king blocker. You're the clear short stack. I think
Decent.
this is,
Yeah.
this is okay.
So I ran it.
And it's just you, yeah, I mean, that's just the game. I think you played fine here.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job, Louis.
And
Good
that's,
job, Louis.
So what was the king, queen hand? I'll show what I
Alright.
got now.
I gotta run, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Chris.
No, thank you guys. It was really good, really good session.
Ken, did you ever finish the HRC?
I'm running it. Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh, okay.
start now. I don't even remember what hand you had. Did you have ace king off?
Yes, he had ace king off.
It's still running, but it's not gonna be good.
Right, so if you look at this, if you just clear out the noise, the obvious noise, it makes the range pretty clear, right? Like kings is pretty indifferent here. Queens is just like punting cuz we're way behind that range. And then ace king suited, like ace king suited's not doing great. The only one actually making any
Yeah,
money here is
even
pocket
kings
aces.
is.
Yeah, even kings is,
undecisive.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
Kings
So
is close.
yeah, I
what
knew
is,
queen, I thought queens would be a fold there.
can
Got a
you
long
pop
way to
up
go.
the? Yeah, that's just the noise. I mean, we get the clear picture, I think. What is the small blind, doing? Does it have like ace five in its range? Like what, does it have bluffs, I guess is the question.
Yes.
And I think that's its important thing to see if small one have any bluffs. If he doesn't, yeah, he's
Yeah, but
super strong.
Here, small blind had like 5 million in winnings. It was a really good player. And the original three better was out of line. So there was a lot going on here, but at the same time, so easy for the original, the four better, like he four bet cold, right? He doesn't need to, but he takes the spot. right? And he takes the spot, I think, like, I don't think he has as much bluffs as that.
Yeah, it's a sicko, right? If he finds
Yeah.
like the ace five suited there, like he is a true sicko.
Yeah.
So I think if the SB is like really good rec and MP is out of line, his value range extend, not his bluff range exist. So maybe he put the ace queen in it, not as a bluff, so he extends his value range.
Yeah, I.
Do you know
agree.
what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, and with that said, maybe you're ahead or you have a marginal call with ace king off versus his wider value range.
Yeah, I guess it boils down to, do you really wanna take a coin flip on his range
No,
right
no,
there
no,
for
I just
thousands
say-
of dollars?
No, I still said ace king is a snap fold, but
Yeah, yeah. No,
Just,
I hear, I hear what you're saying. I
toy
hear what
game.
you're saying. Yeah.
Okay, great.
But as we see this matrix here, it's pretty much kings.
Well, kings is a clear call and ace kings are starting to improve.
When you say improve, they're almost not negative.
Yeah, but, I mean, it jumped a lot and it's got a long way to solve.
Alright, well, thanks a lot for your joining, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching.
Alright, thanks, Louis.
Also, we have a
Sure.
board game going.